or something like that, I suppose you could, or you could just, recognize where it's coming from, what it's worth, who really cares about it, and go about your business and do your other stuff, right? MGTOW Capone is here. Thanks for stopping by, MGTOW Capone. He's doing some serious videos lately. He's looking into the camera. He's talking directly, and I like that. Not that a person has to talk, show themselves on the camera. I just like the idea of a man talking to other men. Right? I get a lot of fucking comfort out of it, as weird as that sounds. I don't want to hear some little girl talking about her makeup. I don't want to hear some blue pill simp talking about, his Star Wars movie review. I want to hear about a man going about his life, There's going to be a little drama, a little anger in there. That's fine. But men working through their problems. And here's the thing. It's a process. Okay, it's like no one's going to come on here and say, hey, man, I just mastered life, and I've got all the fucking answers, and, give me 10 minutes of your time, and you're going to be set. It doesn't work that way. It's, over the course of time, you see this content producer, and you're like, wow, he's struggling with this, he's struggling through that, he's learning this, he's learning that, he's bringing this to bear, he's bringing that to bear. It's exciting stuff, watching the development of the men, so that's what I'm talking about. That's the process. And the other men look at that and they're like, whoa, look, man, he made it through. Like the Chris Cantu situation, making videos, from his van in the Colorado mountains, and then traveling around the world, right? So very inspiring, right? You can be that kind of a leader, right? Like I've told you, when I'm riding my bike, I'm not sitting there riding around like, dragging myself, all complaining and upset and whining. If anybody looks at me and sees me riding, they're like, hell yeah, fuck yeah, that's the way to do it. I should be out there doing it like that. Guy's going uphill, into the wind, through the rain. Looks like he's been going for 20 miles. And he looks like he looks great. Looking good. So that's how I want you guys to be too. In life, all the way. On all things. Okay? Don't be getting in stupid fights. Don't be wasting your energy. You've only got so much in a day. And you've got to use that to get the important things done. Like your MGTOW content, or like, your job. Like earning money. Like building yourself out of a dependent situation. Let's say you're depending on your parents for help, right? Like you're just making your way in life, you're a young guy in your 20s. And they're bugging the shit out of you, and they're telling you what to do. And, it's coming to a head. The situation is escalating. Well, you could get in a fight and argue with them, or you could back off and say, you know what, I'll try to do better. I'm sorry that I've got you upset and worried. Please continue to support me. Please give me, continue to give me feedback. And I'll come to you when I need help. You can still work in the same way to extract yourself out of that dependent situation. Okay, there's no reason to cause a situation where you don't need a situation. Unless you don't know what you're doing. And you can't do good work, or you can't do a good job anyway. So now you just want to, have emotional outbursts. Don't do it. It'll come back to bite you, right? I promise you. So I just want you guys, work hard to get along with the people in your lives. Unless they're hurting you, poking you with a sharp stick, or doing you wrong, get along with people. Don't take little things and blow them up into big things. Keep yourself on an even keel for a man. And I know that's hard for a younger man. It's easier for me. Like some guys will give you the line of bullshit. It's easier for me because I don't have any testosterone anymore. This is great. Bullshit. You're a liar. If you don't have any testosterone, you're getting sick. You're putting on weight. You're getting fat. You're all emotional. It's disgusting to see an older man without testosterone. Makes me want to smack him. It really does. Because he's setting a bad example, too. No, but you can get more control as you get older, right? Because the situations that are knocking you off course, you're like, oh shit, I've dealt with this one 5 times before. And the first 3 times I fucked it up. The last time I did okay. This 5th time, I'm going to do it real good. And then you just smile and you say, no problem, Mom. No problem, Dad. Working through it. Nobody's perfect. Give me a little room. I appreciate the support. I appreciate your concern. I see where you're coming from. I'm a little worried too. But I think I have it. Unless you want to, do it some other way. I always hate it when I'm like making a point and then my music ends, because it's like, oh shit, I'm just stuck out here. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Hey, MGTOW Mindframe is here, everybody. That's JB Gunner, JB Gunner TV. He's back from the trail, right? But he's still doing videos. He's doing a lot of videos, a lot of different subjects that are interest of men. He's even doing some comedy over there, right? Comedy is hard. I tried it. It didn't work out. When I try to make jokes, the only thing that happens is I scare the shit out of people, right? And then when I'm trying to scare the shit out of people, you know what happens? They think I'm fucking joking and they laugh at me. So I've just like given it up, right? I don't make jokes and I don't fight because I'm just, it's just bad. It's just a bad idea. This is one of my favorite songs. It's called Collision. It's from a guy named Ethan Maxwell, I believe. And he's right here on YouTube. And he does a lot of songs like this. And content is free over there in the audio library of YouTube. You all have access to it. If you've got a YouTube channel, you've got access to it. And it's copyright-free music. You can use it in all your videos, no problem. That's why I'm playing it here. So go get it, check it out. You may have to go through, 5 or 6 songs to find one song that you like. And there might only be like half of a part of the song that you really want to use. That's the way it is. Hey, I hope my audio levels aren't too loud. I need better equipment. I need a VU meter right in front of me to let me know if I'm like, spiking the amp. Overdriving the amp. Hey, Dr. Omni says today is my birthday. Can someone please wish me happy birthday? Oh, hell yes, Dr. Omni. Happy birthday, bro. From the Howard Dare channel. The Howard Dare channel officially wishes Dr. Omni a happy birthday, a great time. May your life be filled with, pleasant women. Because the women are not pleasant, Actually, no, they don't need to be filled with women at all. Lots of money and health. Prune Juice Power is here. He says Howard's intelligence is his gift and curse. Yeah, well, I don't know about, it seems like intelligence can be a curse. You know what I mean? Like it can bug the shit out of a person and make them all, worried and self-conscious and self-aware. Prune Juice Power, I saw you hanging out over on another video, on another live hangout from a very, very popular, shall we say, video influencer. And yeah, I hang out over there too. I check him out too. He's got a lot of good stuff, because it's recording the chats. So even though I'm recording this chat right here on the screen, YouTube is recording it too. So when people play it back, they can see everything, So there I was checking out that podcast late, and then I was reading through the chat, and it's like, there's my bro, Prune Juice Power, in the chat with like thousands of people. So I'm like, damn, I should have been there live. But it's okay. Well, you're here live. And also, Dr. Omni says he's 22. Well, you're young, man. You got a long way to go. Be careful, right? A lot of what we do here is for the guys in their 20s. How are we doing? How many soldiers have we got in the box? Like, is anybody fucking getting any messaging of this video going out? I swear, you know what I mean? Like 40,000+ subscribers. It's like, yeah, 8 people have been sent a message. I want that information. I want those metrics. Don't you? Prune Juice Power, right? We're talking about the new metrics that YouTube is going to be offering up. One of the metrics I want to know exactly how many people, when I put out a video, I want to know how many people within my subscription feed get that video, or get a notice of it. And we'll be getting that. We should be able to get that because it should be included in the impressions, right? Because, that's the big push, right? If they put it in someone's subscription feed, right? Look, I'm just saying that I've got probably 30,000 people who are saying, I want these notifications. I put out a video. I don't think they're sending out 30,000 notifications. If they did, I think I'd have, 300-500 people here easily. I like the music. I'm going to update my playlist. YouTube brings new songs in all the time. Go there, listen to 5 or 10 of them, pick out 2 or 3 of them, feature them here on the channel. Wow, that podcast is looking good. Look at that Howard Dare in his black uniform, right? Black and purple. Looking good. Big Viking looking dude. Hey, Dynamite Rabbit is here. He says, hit the like button. And he says it emphatically in capitals. All right, let's see here. Let's watch the video. What's going on? Where'd I go? There I am. Oh, it's great. Nice resolution, too. Moving background. Let's watch the video, because I think this is some good stuff. I'm going to comment along the way, too. But I like the song. Oh, there it is. There's Super Chat coming in. Real, recognize real. Yeah, thank you, MGTOW Capone. I appreciate it. Did you guys check out my last podcast with Chris Cantu? Well, as a guest. Where's the Super Chat plant? $50. Thank you, Dynamite Rabbit. Super Chat plant is here. Naming it Audrey. Feeding the Super Chat plant. He's doing good. Here he is. Where's that fella? Where is that fella? There he is. And he's dancing because he's happy, because he's getting food. And he's getting bigger because he's happy and he loves where he is. Look at that. Look at that. There he is. And in case you're wondering, that fly is actually, it looks like Hillary Clinton. It really does. You think I'm joking? I'm not joking. I have actually gone into the animation program, zoomed in on that little tiny fly's face, and put Hillary Clinton's face on it, so that on some of my other videos, where I was doing an animation series with the Black Bolt here, he was the Blue Bolt back then. Feminist flies. That's what they were. They were attacked by feminist flies. He was walking through the city, the superhero, MGTOW superhero, and he was attacked by feminist flies. And when you zoom in, they have that crazy Hillary Clinton face on them. So there you go. I should bring that back. Thank you, Dynamite Rabbit. I appreciate it. That's awesome. Okay. Let's watch. Wait a minute.
Sweetheart, we're married.
Consider that a divorce.
Yeah, Sharon Stone was pretty hot in that movie, wasn't she? Yeah, no doubt about it, right? Like, she was even into, like, getting tied up and stuff like that. And she was working for Michael Ironside. He's a great character actor. You know what I mean? The guy who played on the other side of, who's hunting him down. Did they ever reveal Hauser? No, wait a minute. He's Hauser. But who was Hauser working for? Right? He was like the big corporate guy. And I'm thinking, was that guy Dick Jones from RoboCop? You remember Dick Jones from RoboCop? That was a great character too, wasn't it? Yeah, I thought so. I'm going to have to bring some clips. Hillary Clitoris. Hey, NYC, thanks for stopping by. Dick Jones from RoboCop. So what I'm able to do, as you guys can see,
Chill out, Big Wad.
is bring in these little clips from popular movies and just kind of like insert them in various places. It seems to work out okay. Now, and as long as it's not like a musical scene, it seems to be okay. AZ Death Rider says he's got one. Z83. What have you got, man? What have you got? Let's hear it. And there's a little delay between what I say and what you guys hear. No. Get back here, bro.
I'll be back.
See, the reason why I put that up there is because he was such a great actor. You know what I mean? He should have won an Academy Award for that one. I don't know who won it that year, but they didn't deserve it. He was robbed. I'm telling you. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so as you know, Tucker Carlson is, doing a weekly series about, men in America, the issues facing men. I think he's watching Howard Dare channel, right? Because we're playing a lot of his videos. And I'm not kidding, okay? Because they don't stop us from playing his videos. So it's obviously like okay with them. You know what I mean? At least, in the clips. So that's significant, and we're covering the same issues, so it's the same audience. Okay, so this is really interesting because he just covers Media Magnet is here. Thanks for stopping by, Media Magnet. I hope everything's going okay. A good clip from RoboCop would be France Bodiger, "Can you fly, Bobby?" scene. Yeah. Francis Bodiger, yeah, he was great too. Isn't he a great character actor as well? The guy who was working for Dick Jones, the criminal guy. Yeah, that was a really good movie. And it was with, what's his name? Right. Yeah. Peter Weller, really, when he was like at his best, of course, RoboCop is, behind the thing, is behind the mask the whole time. But he definitely, the actor that he is, he manages to, give it a lot of life and depth. You know what movie I really liked with Peter Weller, which is just so fucking weird? The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Fifth Dimension. That is one of the silliest movies you could ever watch in the whole wide world. And yet, it's a little entertaining, Yeah. What's another great movie with him in it? Well, there's a lot of good movies with Peter Weller. What is that movie that I'm thinking of? The really weird one. It's no doubt by Cronenberg too. Oh, it's just so weird. Okay, I can't. Oh, Naked Lunch. There you go. Okay. Yeah, you want to be freaked out? You want to have like your mind messed with? This is the danger of watching a movie by David Cronenberg. Okay, is that you're actually sitting there watching the movie and you're like, this is a unusual story. He's having an affair. She's having an affair. One of them is... You just keep going along in this plot, in this story, which seems like it's normal, until it brings you into the weirdest places that you would never, ever in a million years go to in a story. And you're there, and you're like, well, I wonder if she's going, I wonder what's going to happen now. And it's just this unimaginable situation. And just conceiving of the situation is actually like warping your mind. It's like you're almost like sitting there thinking, damn it. It's like, yeah, why did I let this happen? It's like, and now I'm stuck in this, watching this story, and it's weird, and I won't be able to forget it, and, what's that? So it's this whole weird-ass experience that he can put you through. It's not just watching a movie and seeing a story. It's like you're feeling revulsion, you're looking away, you're disgusted with the character, you want to find out what happened to it. It's very strange what he can do. Okay. Sorry, I couldn't miss it. I couldn't not say it. So check out the MGTOW Mindframe channel. Check out the Prune Juice Power channel. Check out, Dynamite Rabbit when he's supporting the other MGTOW content producers in their chats, in their live streams. A lot of great input. Especially this MGTOW message, I really want you guys to focus on that, and I'll show you why. Now I'll finally get to it. Wait a minute. Well, that's not going to work. There, that's better. Okay, here's the news clip, and it's just so much great information, summarized, all the details, and I'm probably going to stop and talk along the way.
Now to the first part of a series you'll see here every Wednesday in the month of March, focusing on men in America. The signs are everywhere. If you're a middle-aged man, you probably know a peer who has killed himself in recent years, at least one. If you're a parent, you may have noticed that your daughter's friends seem a little more on the ball than your son's. They get better grades, they smoke much less marijuana, they spend less time playing video games.
Notice the distinction, much less time. Much less time. Okay. I think it's an interesting distinction that he just made there.
They go to more prestigious colleges. If you're an employer, you may have noticed that your female employees show up on time. The young men often don't. And of course, if you live in this country, you've just seen a horrifying series of mass shootings, far more than we've ever had. Women didn't do that. In every case, the shooter was a man. Something ominous is happening to men in America. Everyone who pays attention knows that. What's odd is how rarely you hear it publicly acknowledged. Our leaders pledge to create more opportunities for women and girls, whom they imply are failing. Men don't need help. They're the patriarchy. They're fine, more than fine. But are they fine? Here are the numbers. Start with the most basic, life and death. The average American man will die 5 years before the average American woman. One of the reasons for this is addiction. Men are more than twice as likely as women to become alcoholics. They're also twice as likely to die of a drug OD. In New Hampshire, one of the states hardest hit by the opioid crisis, 73% of overdose deaths were men. But the saddest reason for shortened lifespans is suicide. 77% of all suicides in America are committed by men. The overall rate is increasing at a dramatic pace. Between 1997 and 2014, there was a 43% rise in suicide deaths among middle-aged American men. The rates are highest among American Indian and white men, who kill themselves at about 10 times the rate of Hispanic and black women.
Indian and white men at 10 times the rate of Hispanic and black women. 10 times the rate. How horrible does life have to be for white men, Indian men, to commit suicide at 10 times the rate of black women and Hispanic women? And if you were to listen to feminism, most of the complaining is from women playing the victim. A threat narrative. We've been oppressed. You have to help us. And yet, the men are at 10 times the rate. Amazing. And look at the increase. 43% increase from 1997 to 2014. Well, what's happened? What has happened in that time period? Well, George W. Bush was elected in 98. Obama was elected, right? Yeah. So that's what happened in that time period, at least from the presidents. Interesting. Just kind of gives it a little context. Okay. Placebo effect says, thanks, feminism and gynocentrism, for destroying men. So sad. Yeah. Destroying the best of men, too. You know, that's why we're here. MGTOW. All right, let's continue.
You often hear America's incarceration crisis. Well, that's almost exclusively a male problem, too. Over 90% of inmates are men. Now, these problems are complex, but we know that they start young. And relative to girls, boys are failing in school. More girls than boys graduate high school. Considerably more go to and graduate from college. In schools at every level, boys account for the overwhelming majority of discipline cases. One study found that fully 1 in 5 high school boys had been diagnosed with some form of hyperactivity disorder. That's compared with just 1 in 11 girls. Many of them were medicated for it.
I'm sorry, what was that, 1 in 5 versus 1 in 11? I missed the actual number, but I think it's a lot higher than 1 in 5. I think they're, chemically attacking the boys like 2 out of 5, I would say. And it's going up, you know what I mean? Wow, these boys sure are, they sure do need a lot of medication, don't they? Right? I wonder why they're having such, miserable times in later life in their teenage years. I guess they need a lot more medication. Let's continue. See, this is why we're here. This is the message that, we have to put out. Okay? This summarizes it. So, when women start talking about check your privilege and that they've been oppressed for thousands of years, just fucking repeat these numbers back to them.
The long-term health effects of those medications, not fully understood, but they do appear to include depression in later life. Women now decisively outnumber men in graduate school. They earn the majority of doctoral degrees. They're now the majority of new enrollees in both law and medical schools.
Yeah, there you go. Congratulations. They're taking over every, important aspect of civilization. And, I'm not, a person's not really always worried about like what the numbers are right now, but you're worried about the trend, okay? So like if somebody is growing at a rate, like 10 times your rate, even though you're doing okay today, in a certain amount of time, it's not going to be that way. Women have been outstripping men for a long time now. And, now we're starting to, it's undeniable. Okay? Something is being done to the men. I don't know what it is. I think it's psychological and emotional. Let's continue. Let's just go with the numbers, and I don't need to get all upset and all worked up. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for caring about this issue. And, let's get armed with the information so that we can make the intelligent, rational arguments that will influence the people so that we can avoid some of these problems. All right, let's continue.
For men, the consequences of failing in school are long-term and profound. Between 1979 and 2010, working-age men with only high school degrees saw their real hourly wages drop about 20%. Over the same period, high school-educated women saw their wages rise. The decline of the industrial economy disproportionately hurt men. There are now 7 million working-age men in America who don't work. They've dropped out of the labor force. Nearly half of them take pain medication on any given day. That is the highest rate in the world by far. Far fewer young men get married than...
Interesting. So we've got the highest, usage rate of pain medication from men in the world. Do you think that's a good sign or a bad sign? What do you think that means for these men 4 or 5 years down the road? You know what it means. So what do you want to do with the MGTOW message? You want to get in meaningless arguments about interpersonal conflicts because somebody called you a name? Or do you want to put out a message that might reach a man who is at his wit's end? Welcome to the Howard Dare channel, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out. We're just watching the Tucker Carlson news clip summarizing the issues facing men all over the world. It's not just in America. He's just covering some of the statistics here in America, I believe. Let's continue.
Just a few decades ago, and fewer stay married. About 1 in 5 American children live now only with their mothers. That's double the rate of 1970. Millions more boys growing up without fathers. Young adult men are now more likely to live with a parent than they are to live with a spouse or a partner. That is not the case for young women. Single women buy their own homes at more than twice the rate of single men.
Oh yeah, women are doing pretty well in this economy, guys. I think we're safe. I don't think we need any more programs to help the girls and to help the women and to give the women additional resources and consideration. I don't think we need any more laws. I don't think we need any more regulations. I don't think we have to put men through any more classes or shame. I don't think we need any more Me Too hashtags. I don't think that we need to wake people up about the oppression of women and people who aren't being given enough welfare money. I don't think we have to worry about them anymore, guys. I think we have to rebuild the economy. I think we have to rebuild the men, and it's your jobs that we're talking about here. I've got a bunch of guys who like to shame men for trying to earn money. Man, there are some guys that are just so far gone, they're so far. They're on the government payroll. They've been, raised by their mothers. They've got this female mindset from watching all this fantasy bullshit TV, and they're upset, right? Because they didn't, you know why they're upset. I don't need to go into it. I'm sorry. Okay? Men need to make money. And they're not going to school. They're being driven out of schools. They're being drugged. They're being shamed. They're being belittled every single day of their lives. They can't even have decent interactions with women without the women accusing them of crimes. It's causing them to commit suicide. It's causing them to drop out. It's causing them to be complete, idiots, to just give up on life. And you've got other guys, okay, that aren't going to make it anywhere in life. And they're encouraging other men to go the same way. And it's bullshit, okay? And when we try to put out a positive message that says, look what's happening to the men, you guys need to, be aware of it and do something about it, there's a whole group of men who want to distract your attention away from that and get you into some sort of meaningless bullshit argument, okay? With some guy who will never reach out to help anybody. You want to do that? Okay, look, we need you down at the hospital to perform a brain surgery on somebody who's just had an accident. Okay? Or you could stop off on a street corner and have an argument with a bum about whether or not he likes your shoes And I'm sorry, right, that I'm talking like this, but I want you guys in the game. I want you focused. I don't want you getting in little arguments with people, with a retarded little troll who's actually, 15 years old, who just wants to stop you from getting to work to help somebody. This is the MGTOW message. I'm sorry. Let's continue. Support the MGTOW message.
More women than men now have driver's licenses. Whenever gender differences come up in public debate, the so-called wage gap seems to dominate the conversation. You've heard it. A woman makes 77 cents for every dollar a man earns. That's a statistic that you'll hear a lot. Presidents have repeated it, many candidates. It's everywhere. And yet that number compares all American men to all American women across all professions. No legitimate social scientist would consider that a valid or meaningful measure. The number doesn't mean anything. It's intentionally misleading. It's a talking point. Once you compare men and women with similar experience, working the same hours and similar jobs for the same period of time, that's the only way you can measure it, the gap all but disappears. In fact, it may invert. One study using census data found that single women in their 20s living in metropolitan areas now earn 8% more on average than their male counterparts.
Gee, I wonder why. I have no idea. Vagina. So, I guess the women are just like really, ambitious and on the ball. And I guess they're just great workers, right? Like a bunch of super geniuses. This is great, man. You know what this means, guys? Really, do you know what this means? This means that in the near future, we are going to have an explosion of super female geniuses. These women are going to they're going to take us to Mars. They're going to discover new energy sources, right? They're going to discover how to harness the energy of the hydrogen, fusion. I don't know which one, but they're going to, be able to take the hydrogen molecule out of the fucking salt water, right? And they're going to be able to make enough energy to just power the world for the next million years with just a gallon of water. You know how they're going to do it? They're going to take the water and they're going to put it on a paper thin surface, okay? And then they're going to fucking start screaming and complaining at it, and their voice is going to, vibrate the paper so much that it's going to atomize the water into its, parts, and then we're going to be able to reap the energy out of the, atoms as they atomize there from complaining feminists. That's going to be our new energy source, ladies and gentlemen. Feminists. Okay, continuing on.
By the way, the majority of managers in the workplace are now women. Women on average are scoring higher on IQ tests than men are.
And women make great managers. Nothing better than working for a woman. Nothing more natural than for a big 6.5-foot man, who's got a real low IQ because he's so stupid. He's so stupid. Listening to a 5'2" fat woman from a country where she can't even speak the native language, and she'll never learn either, right? Because it's too hard. Continuing.
Even physically, men are falling behind. A recent study found that almost half of young men failed the Army's entry-level physical fitness exam during basic training. Fully 70% of American men are now overweight or obese. That's compared to 59% of American women. Perhaps most bafflingly and terrifyingly, men seem to be becoming less male fundamentally, measurably.
Soy boys. I think we know a few. I think, they're raised by single mothers, right? Like he's covered, a lot of the reasons. The men can sense the situation that they're in. And it sends all these triggers to their body, and the men are shutting down because they're being treated like garbage within society. They have no value. They have no worth. And the women are complaining and they're, putting this threat narrative forward so strongly that it's actually, it's harming the men. It's harming the boys. And then the natural male behavior is we treat it like it's criminal. They treat it like it's criminal. They drug the boys. They diagnose them with ADHD because they don't sit still like girls, because they don't behave like girls. They don't train the boys to be boys. And it destroys them. Do you understand? Like, you have to fulfill your destiny as a man. You've got to lose weight. You've got to get rid of those stupid emotions, the ones that are just silly. You've got to support yourself. You can't be like, oh, the government should be giving me this and that. What do you want me to do? You can't be like that. You have to get up every morning and work hard. Even for nothing. You got to get up every morning and work hard just to set up for the day where you can get up in the morning and start earning things. That's what an entrepreneur has to do. You know how many hours a day I work? I work 24 hours a day. That's how many hours a day I work. And you know how much I make on a given day? Some days I don't make anything. And you know how much I make on other days? Some other days I do okay. I do pretty good. But I keep working every day. I was riding my bike. I had to go out and I was riding about, I rode about 30 miles today in about 2.5 hours. Not bad. Need to do more. Media Magnet says, best schools are all boy, all girl schools. Yeah, totally. Hey, Joe. Thanks for stopping by. Joe Billio is here, everybody. He watches all my videos. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support from everybody. I appreciate the support over on Patreon, you guys. I appreciate the PayPal support, which is a great place to support us because, they only take 3%. Support the other MGTOW content creators, that aren't here, that, whose messages, and videos that resonate with you. So, I appreciate it. Just trying to help. Let's continue on. Wow. Sperm count down 60% since the 70s. 60%! Holy shit! 60%! How is that possible? That's not possible without some sort of chemical, biological reason behind it. Like, wow, the plastics really are killing us. That's just not possible. And, man, this agenda, it's like soon. Do you ever see that Star Trek episode where, the next generation shows up on this planet and it's dominated by women? They're all about like 6.5 feet tall and all the men are about 5.5 feet tall. You know that's what they want, right? And that's what's happening. Planet of feminists, fempocalypse. No, what is it? What did I call it? I did a whole science fiction fucking animation series. Femtopia. Thank you. Yeah, on, what was it? Oh, the Starship, Howard Dare. The Howard Dare Starship. I may have deleted that one, you know what I mean? Because it's just so stupid. It's so bad. Anyway, let's continue on with Tucker Carlson, because these are important statistics. Again, the feminists start complaining, you just start repeating some of these statistics. You don't need the testosterone one, but the other ones. Let's continue.
Sperm counts, for example, across the West have plummeted. They're down almost 60% since the early 1970s. Scientists don't know why this is. Testosterone levels in men have also fallen precipitously. One study found that average levels of male testosterone dropped by 1% every year after 1987, and it's not related to age. In other words, the average 40-year-old man in 2017 would have testosterone levels 30% lower than the average 40-year-old man in 1987. There is no upside to this trend. Lower testosterone levels in men are associated with depression, lethargy, weight gain, decreased cognitive ability. Nothing like this has ever happened to a population this big. So you'd think we'd want to know exactly why.
There's no upside to it, okay? There is no upside to losing that much testosterone. When a weak man, when an elderly, weak, non-muscular man stands up and says, well, now that my testosterone is down, I can concentrate a lot better. He's lying. He's full of shit. Okay? He's saying that because, he's like trying to impress someone. Okay? It's retarded. That would be like a man standing up and saying, I feel so much better now that I can't do any work around the house and I have to hire other men to do it. Yeah, you're proud of that. You're proud of being like a sissy. You're proud of being a soy boy. No. Don't do it. See, these are the sentiments. These are the ideas that the women, that mainstream media culture wants to, get the men to accept. But it's bullshit. You can't be that way. If you go that way, you will become sick. You'll get heart disease. You'll get diabetes. You'll fall into depression. Live life like a man. That's all. In your mind, think, act like a man. Don't be ashamed. All right, let's continue.
What's going on? How do we fix it? And yet the media ignore that story. It's considered a fringe topic somehow. Nor is it, believe it or not, a priority in the scientific research establishment. We checked, and we couldn't find a single NIH-funded study on why testosterone levels are falling. We did find a study on, quote, pubic hair grooming prevalence and motivation among women in the U.S. So those are the numbers, and they paint a very clear picture. American men are failing in body, in mind, and in spirit. This is a crisis. Yet our leaders pretend it's not happening, and in fact, they tell us the opposite is true. Women are victims, men are oppressors. To question that assumption is to risk punishment. Even as women far outpace men in higher education, for example, virtually every college campus supports a women's studies department whose core goal is to attack male power. Our politicians and business leaders internalize and amplify that message. Men are privileged, women are oppressed. Hire and promote and reward accordingly. Now, that would be fine if it were true, but it's not true. At best, it's an outdated view of an America that no longer exists. At worst, it's a pernicious lie. Either way, ignoring the decline of men does not help anyone. Men and women need each other. One cannot exist without the other. That is elemental biology. It's also the reality that each one of us has lived with our parents and siblings and friends. When men fail, all of us suffer. How did this happen? How can we fix it? We hope that this series, each Wednesday this month, answers those questions.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, we'll be looking forward to it. I'll be watching it. You know what I mean? I use the Tucker Carlson clips when they pertain, to feminism, men's issues, collectivism, social justice warriors, extreme liberalism, when the left, is going crazy, which is pretty much all the time. Look, I believe that the left and the mainstream media, they're gearing up for the 2018 midterm elections coming up in November, and they're setting the stage, here in media, driving social conservative people and channels off the internet through shame, through censoring, through just general harassment and things like that, and anything that isn't a feminist liberal agenda, right? That's like, well, what these types of ideas are. And they're completely destructive, towards society and towards men, right? Like, understand that the two variables, the two things that are at stake right here is the men's individual freedom and the women's unrestrained, that's what it is, that rules the day and just, controls everything, right? Those are the two things that you can have one or you can have the other. You can have an open, competitive market where men compete and people compete and they get ahead based on merit, okay? And that is the engine of progress and humanity. And within that, you will have, some big players who can exploit the system, but they will also provide opportunity that is in response to the needs of the market. So it's a very self-correcting system, Or you can take a group of people that are underprivileged by nature, and you can give them the resources and the energy of the people who are privileged by nature. Well, not even privileged by nature. The people who work hard and who are productive. You can take from them and give to these other people, and you can create a culture of entitlement, resentment, manipulation, guilt, and shame. And you could call this an inverted corporate totalitarianism, okay? That's what it is, because the large corporate moneyed interests are in charge, okay? And it's just the way it is, people. I mean, there's nothing unusual about that, okay? It's like if you've got a giant paper mill, well, the person who owns it and is running it and has built it, their interests are in charge. So the corporations, which are making all this money, have been paying for the legislation through the government, and it's been happening for years and years and years. And they pretend to, respect the symbols of freedom and America and individual rights, but they don't. It's just, corporatism, making money. That's why your politicians, they're not carrying out the people's will. They're carrying out the will of their moneyed masters. Ta-da, right? And they want to become one of these moneyed masters. So they don't go by principles. They don't try to do what's right. They don't try to be good civil servants. They try to get rich and gain status, right? So that's why, that's why they seem to have no principles, and that's why they'll say anything, and that's why you can't have arguments with them, because they don't care about facts, because they don't. They care about social status. If you were able to analyze their brains, you would see which part of the brains are lighting up when they're engaged in their various activities. And you would realize that they are not thinking critically, they are not deciding, they are not debating. They are engaging in a kind of emotional abuse, and they are feeling pleasure. If you could run a real-time MRI on their brain. Kind of like if you were the predator creature and you were able to look at them, and see the heat waves coming off of them. Like a dog can probably, that's what a dog sees when he looks at you. Excuse me. Did you hear that? I just sneezed. But I cut the volume on my audio input. Hey, Norse Gamers here. Thanks for stopping by. Awesome, bro. Haven't seen you in a little while. Actually, I did see you. I saw you hanging out on a podcast last night. Looking good. Thanks for stopping by. So, as part of this series, what else have we got going on? Let me show you. Well, that's Arnold. Okay. Let's see how we doing on time. How we doing on support? How we doing in the chat? Let me see. Okay, we've got 103 people in the box. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. 103 MGTOW soldiers, right, ready to receive a positive MGTOW message. We're not here to fight with other men. We're not here to fight over meaningless, interpersonal bullshit. We're here to spread a message that can, help other men so that they don't fall into despair and depression, and then hate themselves as men, because, that's where society is pushing them, right? So you guys are involved in a very noble cause. You can help yourselves and you can help others. And you can support yourself. You can make a good living, doing it, or you can make a little extra money doing it, and perhaps even build up. This is one of my main focuses right now. I know what happened. Okay? I see what happened. I see what is happening. So what needs to happen is that we need to build a way so that when men are doing the right thing that helps everybody, that helps themselves and helps other men, when they are doing the virtuous thing, the principled virtuous thing, that they get rewarded. You see, we have to create and build a positive feedback loop system, because it's a negative feedback loop system. We're getting destroyed, men. That's why they're falling down. Okay? I'm here trying to, move it forward. I've got some ideas. I've spoken about them. We're going to move forward, right? I've got good, strong people who are really committed to this. And I'm not just bullshitting you. You know these people, okay? You listen to these people. These people have been around for a long time now, day after day. Okay, we're not just some flash in the pan. We're not just some loudmouth talking. Although I can be pretty loud, and I'm kind of proud of that. Loud and proud. Fierce. I am a fierce competitor. The fierceness of Howard Dare. Thumbs up, everybody. Thank you, Samuel. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you stopping by, hanging out. I appreciate your participation in the chat. Everybody support the other MGTOWs. You come across somebody who's looking for a little help, a little encouragement, give it to them. Give a little validation to people, if they've earned it. Don't hold back. Share the good stuff with your fellow man. I was, I was, at a restaurant, fast food place, and I just saw a young man, and he was just sitting there like he didn't have anything to do. He was like online. I thought to myself, shit, maybe he's fucking watching the Howard Dare channel. And it was like he was just hanging out with a drink or something, with the drink. And I was leaving, and I wasn't able to finish my French fries. I just couldn't finish them. Right? There was just too many of them. I had bitten off a little bit more than I could chew. And I didn't want to throw them away. And he was sitting right there. So, I just said, hey, man, you want these fries? And he said, yeah, sure, okay. He was doing me a favor, right? It's like, thank you, because I didn't want to throw them away, right? So I felt good that I could help him. Now, there was another guy who was just standing on the street corner, and he was insane. I was on a bike, right? So I'm coming up to the street corner, and I see, I'm very aware, right? I know what's coming behind me, where I am on the road, and all kinds of things. Seriously. I know when trucks are coming, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that they don't hit me, but then when they pass, I want to make sure that I can get into their, into their drift, into their draft, and they can pull me along like a wave. So I'm very aware of what's going on. I'm even so aware of little glass and cracks in the road 5-6 feet in front of me. That's what I'm really watching. And I see that there's this guy hanging out on the street corner, and he's crazy, right? I can tell. And he's just taking a water glass and he's throwing it at the car windows and acting like he wants money from them. Like he's helping him out. And there was nothing I could do to help him. You know what I mean? I couldn't give him a couple bucks. I couldn't, stop and talk to him. I couldn't do anything. But the other guy, yeah, have some French fries, bro. I'm trying to help out, right? I feel bad, but, just can't help some people. All right. Let's watch a little bit more from, more part of this.
Jordan Peterson is a professor at the University of Toronto. He's written a lot about the decline of modern.
I think this was actually from last week because I've watched this clip before, but I think it's been inserted into, this series at the first part. So I'm looking forward to what happens, this Wednesday. So let's watch this because it's good. Even though JP is not at his best, right? In this format, I think he's a little uncomfortable here, but it's still important. So here it is.
And we spoke to him recently. Jordan Peterson, thanks for joining us. We've got a long list of...
Hey, Joe, thanks for the super chat, bro. I appreciate it. I appreciate you hanging out. I appreciate, talking to you in the chat section as well, being here in MGTOW. Thank you, bro. Talk to you later.
Statistics that paint a pretty clear picture that boys seem to be falling behind relative to girls in the United States. Why do you think that is?
I think that that's partly a consequence of directed policy. So it's linked to the idea that there's something wrong with masculinity, and so that the expression of masculinity should be limited in all sorts of arbitrary ways. The fact that kids can't really play at schools anymore is a manifestation of that. The fact that male behavior is often diagnosed as attention deficit disordered, for example, is a manifestation of that. The elimination of competition as a valid form of human interaction, and the failure to recognize that competitive sports, for example, are deeply cooperative in their fundamental nature, as long as everyone is playing by the rules, obviously.
Linked directly, to public policy. Look, here's the thing. The complex answers that Jordan Peterson, to these questions, they're not 45-second TV sound bites. You know what I mean? They're not. Every single thing he said here requires, at least a few minutes of, unpacking and explaining this level of analysis is not necessarily great for just like a news program. You know what I mean? Like here we've got a 5-minute segment, so we're trying to get it all in and understand an issue that you can't necessarily wrap your head around after, a year of study. You know what I mean? A serious study. You can't really get your head wrapped around it. So just keep that in mind, and maybe he's a little uncomfortable, but the information is spot on, and we need to take it in and process it, and be able to use it. Right? It's a matter of public policy. We've decided that the men have to be trimmed back in the schools, drugged. Hey, Orange Partisan is here. Thanks for stopping by, Orange Partisan. Okay, let's continue on.
So there's that's a large part of it.
So you're saying that there is an organized, not always explicit, but still organized attempt to de-emphasize masculinity or to punish masculinity. Why?
Because it's easy to mistake masculine competence for the tyranny that hypothetically drives the patriarchy. It's part of a ideological worldview that sees the entire history of mankind as the oppression of women by men.
Wouldn't it be nice if you could, play the victim so vastly that everything that was done in history, was something that you should be compensated for, right? Does that sound familiar? I mean that's what the feminists, that's what the whole threat narrative is all about. Like, your people oppressed my people, therefore you have to give me a new a home and free food for the rest of my life. It's like, no, I didn't do anything to you, and my ancestors didn't do anything to you either. So it's just that they want to use this to lord over and control us, and it works because we're fair and honest-minded men, and we probably have to, we have to reconsider that, okay? That's what we're doing here. We're toughening it up, right? We're making men a little tougher, a little stronger. We're breaking the conditioning of depending on female validation and the validation of people who are, in fact, exploiting you. You have to become your own man. Even in a world where everybody else gets to go work for somebody else, no. You have to become the type of man that other people will come to work for. And we're going to help. So let's continue.
Which is a dreadful way of looking at the world. A very pathological way of looking at the world. It's not like men and women always get along any more than men and men get along, or women and women for that matter. But fundamentally, human history is a cooperative enterprise, and men and women have lifted themselves out of the mire over millennia in their cooperative endeavor. And to describe that as centuries of the oppression of women by men is an absolutely reprehensible ideological rewrite of history.
Thank you for the super chat, Minimum Rage. I appreciate it. That's a great name. I was just waiting for Jordan Peterson, to finish his sentence. Look at the way that Tucker's looking at him, right? And just, letting him talk and letting him go on. On a lot of the other clips, when Tucker's interviewing feminists, it's funny to watch his face because he just, he's so shocked and he's so amused by some of the stuff they say, and he just makes some of the funniest expressions trying to follow along with their logic. And, Kathy Aru, who comes on his show quite a lot, she makes the equally ridiculous faces when she tries to assert things like, all white men should be deported from America and that we should ban the word man from the English language. Tucker just has to stop himself from busting out and laughing at her, and she has to and she makes all these weird little contorted faces, like there's some other personality within her confirming the madness of her assertions. Yeah, slow motion is great stuff. Let's continue. So thanks for the super chats, everybody. Thank you for the support. We're going to put it to good use, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. We're building up some tools for men that I think are going to be helpful for MGTOW men, and I'll tell you more about it as we go on. Let's continue.
And it's what's taught in the humanities and in much of the social sciences at universities, and increasingly in the public education system. It's taken as an unassailable fact.
And you're saying that this has bad consequences for the development of boys.
Well, how could you feel good about that? I mean, if you're made out to be a potential manifestation of rape culture, if you're part of toxic masculinity, if your competitive drive is regarded as part of a tyrannical impulse, if the heritage to which you belong is regarded as an oppressive patriarchy, then how in the world are you going to step?
Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So here we are again. That's right. It's Howard Dare Live. All day, every day. You know I could do that, right? You know that 12-hour live streams mean nothing to me. I hope you, you will appreciate it. You will learn to appreciate it. So this is some good stuff. This is real chat. Real MGTOW chat for real MGTOW, as opposed to fake MGTOW. So I was just listening to the Chris Cantu live stream. Go over to the Chris Cantu channel, check it out. Show him some support, especially, because he's a good man and I think he can help you. And I was thinking there's just not enough live streams, for MGTOW. Because MGTOW are constantly under attack. Look, you've got to know something, all right? MGTOW is the cutting edge. MGTOW is the tip of the spear. MGTOW get hated and attacked by everybody because we are the only ones who dare to speak the truth. Not red pill, not PUA, not pump and dump, not anti-feminism. None of that stuff is MGTOW. So we're going to get heat from everybody. And honestly, hear me. If you create a MGTOW channel and you speak out against the gynocentric system, you're going to get hate from every angle and from every side. You have to become unbelievably strong. And it doesn't end. Okay? The challenges of the trolls just get bigger and bigger. There's my cell phone. Hold on, everybody. Oh my God. Oh, shit. Got an Amber Alert going on here from Lake Havasu. Damn, that's too bad. They're looking for a 2007 silver Hummer, you guys. Hope it helps. So, you guys, MGTOW needs the support. Men need the support. Now, if you're a blue pill simp, don't worry about it. You're going along with the system. They're not coming for you. As a matter of fact, the more that you can virtue signal, and the more stuff that you can do to signal to your group that you're really part of their group, there you go. You're safe in your little group. But the MGTOW man, holy shit. MGTOW man stands up to everything. MGTOW man doesn't back down. Think about it. There's MGTOW channels that are bigger than I am. They've had it a lot harder than I have. Thankfully, they've cleared the way, like an icebreaker, but it's still really hard. And you never get away from it. Okay. It's just, it just keeps escalating. It's like working out. Okay. Do you even lift, bro? And I can tell. Just by looking at you, just by interacting with you. I can tell if you lift. I can tell how serious you are about the situation around you. Hey, let me see if I can set something up here. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Nothing really special. I just wanted to offer an opportunity for the good men of MGTOW to have a place to hang out and get a little support. That's all. No big deal. Let me see, though, if I can bring the live chat into the stream. I should be able to do that, right? After all, I'm a genius. But I'm not a super genius, so chill out and give me a moment. We have our limits. It's a one-man operation. I used to get help. I used to have, a whole crew of guys that, man, they sucked. But, it enabled me to imagine that I had somebody, watching my back. But they didn't. They just totally trashed the whole place and attacked all the MGTOW and made it impossible, for people to speak in the chat. And then they threatened and doxed a whole bunch of people. And it turns out that they're just a bunch of sick little kids. So it's the way it goes sometimes, They're mad dogs, okay? But you got to let him in, This is MGTOW. So if a man comes and he says, hey, man, am I welcome? Can I hang out? Do you have something for me? I'm like, yeah, come on in, man. Yeah, here's something warm to drink. Here's a little comforting knowledge, okay? It happens to all of us men. What a comfort it is for the man who's alone, who's at the end of his rope. And the world hates him. You know what I mean? The woman has turned on him. The state has turned on him. His family has turned on him. He has nothing. And he's thinking, what a fool I was. Is there any bigger fool in the world than me? Because it sure doesn't feel like it right now. And then he goes on to, YouTube or to Google and he types worthless bitch. And all of a sudden it lights up. Howard Dare, the bitch series, how to avoid an attack from a free range bitch. Don't feed bitches after midnight. And he's like, what the hell is this? So he clicks on it, right? He's outside too. He's on a cell phone, guys. He's at the end of his rope. And he finds, a good MGTOW video. It doesn't have to be Howard Dare. And he watches it and he's like, whoa, what do you mean? The gynocentric, what is that? Yeah, female-based. Women and children first. Hypergamy. Holy shit, I'm not alone. This happens to all the men. And he's like, whoa, I don't have to kill myself. Seriously, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's some guy at the end of his rope sitting there, desperate, finding a MGTOW video, watching that MGTOW video, and being like, holy shit, this is real. That's what happened to me. The whole system turned against me. And I couldn't do anything right. And now everybody is turned against me. Even my own son is turned against me. Because I don't have enough money. And then he's like, well, I'm going to watch these videos. There's something here. And he hears it and it's like, oh, I don't want to believe this. But he's like, but it's true. This is what's happening. I was disposable. They didn't care about me. They lied about me. They tried to destroy me. And they're still doing it. So that's what MGTOW is for, right? It's not for, some little kid to have an emotional fit and pretend that he's a big shot. Okay, you want to be a big shot in MGTOW? Be my guest, man. Be my guest. Go to it. Get at it, right? I'm like the third largest MGTOW channel, here now on YouTube. There's other channels that are bigger, but they kind of dropped the MGTOW label and stuff. There's other channels who get even more views. You know what I mean? So this is just by subscribers. And I think it matters. You know what I mean? That I'm pretty easily accessible, that I'm right here hanging out with you guys right now. So thanks for stopping by, everybody. Joseph Dunphy is here. Excellent. Always good to have you here, Joseph. Thank you. Emily is here. Thanks for stopping by, Emily. Hope everything's going well. Coach Lewis is here. Howard, can you be my father? Yes, I can, Lewis. No, I can be like a surrogate millennial father. I was actually thinking of adopting the nickname or starting a channel. And this is, you guys, anybody can take this if they want it. Millennial father, right? And just, like a father figure, like my, superhero avatar. And just comes on and shares his advice with the millennials whose mothers have driven their fathers away. So it's a fine idea. You know what I mean? Thank you, my son. Yes. Thank you. I would be honored to be anybody's father. No, I'm I am not a father. I don't have any kids. Okay. And I'm kind of glad that I didn't, because I don't think I would have been ready. Of course, I'm kind of sad that I didn't as well, right? I still could. I'm a man, right? And I'm a very healthy man too, despite the exclamations of the little bitches of the fake MGTOW. No, I'm a very healthy man. Oh, who did I see? You guys have to check this guy out. He's a business coach. He's like 86 years old. He's this Scottish guy who's like 6'8", and he's got a testosterone rating of 1,800. A healthy man is supposed to have like, 700 or 800, maybe 900. A professional athlete, like 11, 1,200. This is like an 80-year-old man, and he's like a financial advisor. Something Pena, I believe. And he's got like 1,800 testosterone, and he acts like it too. God damn it. Don't be a little bitch your whole life. You have to reach out there and go get it. That's how he talks. And he's really quite cool. Sunrise Hoodie. Yeah, you were talking about Sunrise Hoodie. Sunrise Hoodie is really good. A lot of biblical, no, that's not Sunrise Hoodie. I'm sorry. There's plenty of really nice MGTOW channels out there. Well, not plenty, but there's some. So there you go. And let me just say, here's the way that I interpret the biblical stories, okay? All of you, use this. They're stories about the examples in our life. Some of you have heard me say this. In other words, you're going to find yourself in a somewhat Cain and Abel situation 3 or 4 times a day, okay? You're going to find yourself in a Samson and Delilah situation several times throughout your life. You're going to find yourself in, Joseph getting betrayed to Egypt situation several times in your life. You are going to find yourself in a, what's the story where they try to where they do trick the father in giving the blessing, to the other son, right? I mean, that's like lying your way into a promotion. You see what I mean? So even though it's this story that you think is so detached from you, no, it represents these human guideposts quite perfectly, right? So like you go to the boss and you say, oh yeah, that coworker that, is up for the vice presidentship that I'm up for, he curses in church. He's an antichrist. He has the cross in his house upside down, right? And he doesn't go to it on Sunday, but he goes to it on Monday. And the boss is like, that dirty son of, I'm not giving him the promotion. I'm giving you the promotion. So, we're in these situations all the time. That's what I'm saying. So that's how you get to use the biblical stories. I think it's a lot more useful. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, I can actually kind of use that now. Whereas if before, it's a nice story. It obviously had a moral and an behind it, but ancient, different setting. It's like, oh no, you're in the exact same situation all the time. So there you go. I found that helpful. What the hell was I talking about? Now I'm fucking lost. Oh, well, let's hope I can remember. Oh, Dan Pena is his name. Yeah. Thank you, Coach Lewis. And he's Scottish, and he does these courses. He has a castle. He lives in a castle in Scotland, and nice place. And he does courses where he brings in like, I don't know, not too many, I think like 10 or 20 people, but it's $10,000 and they stay at his castle for like a week. And I think, I don't know, because I haven't really watched it too closely. I think they're treated like almost like royalty, not like royalty, but like, yeah, this is the good life. Go get it. Go have it. These are, $100,000 cars, multi-$100,000 classic cars. This is a castle. These are the finest clothes that you can wear. These are the finest suits and shoes that you can wear. These are the finest meals given to you by servants. And we're going to talk about making money and making a real impact in life and getting serious. He's a financial coach. And what he's suggesting is that it's a complete lifestyle. You know what I mean? That these people, You want to be that type of man? Go be that type of man. Go live in a castle, okay? Go wear the finest suits in the world. Do it. Go stay in the finest 5-star hotels around the world in the penthouse, in the presidential suite. Go do it. Go be like Trump. Be a real super badass in this world because you've only got one life. So that's what he teaches. So he's great. He's cool. Watch his videos. He's really intense though. And the women can watch it too, because it's like the message still applies. Daniel Davis says, sounds like Kumar already stepped away from MGTOW. He says the vast MGTOW channels are toxic. Well, there's a few of them that are okay though. And that's not so unusual. You're damn right I'm thirsty. I work hard. Do you know how much energy it takes to think the way I think and to be such a super badass like I am? It takes a lot of energy. I figure I must need about 4,000 calories a day. And I have to get it in like really high-end protein too. I can't just like eat, garbage because then I end up using more energy digesting it than it provides for me. It's amazing. So the Aussie Bushman is here. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Dan Chow is here. That's a strange name, but okay. Lord Harkrin is here? Interesting. That's 2/3 of the payout for a maritime merchant captain, chief engineer for a month. Yeah, but like merchant marines and captain, they can make good money. Men can make good money. You know what I mean? Like you could go spend, 6 months over there in, the Arab Emirates working on an oil field, right? For like 3 days in a row, 12-hour shifts, 1 day off, 3 days in a row, and do that for like 6 months. And you could make hundreds of thousands of dollars, and all you would have to be is a strong, healthy worker. Not all, but I don't think you would have to be like a top of the line engineer. I think if you're like willing to work in those conditions, you can make serious money as a man. But it does involve working away from home, and working long periods of time and working, ridiculous hours. And men can do that, and it's not easy. Right? Usually men from the military, are kind of like adapted to it a little better, but you can do it. You can do it for 6 months and, have $150,000 and then, and come back and try to do something with it. I don't know if I recommend like that. You know what I mean? I have no problem. Like go do something, if you want to go do that, go do that. You could then afford to take, Dan Pena's course and go live in a Scottish castle and be treated like Scottish royalty for a week or something. While he schools you in how to fucking make a life for yourself, unless you want to push a broom and be a slave for another man your whole life. Why the hell is that? Okay. Why the hell are so many of us conditioned to be like low-level workers? Is it because we come from low-level workers? Why do we accept it? Why? I'll tell you why. I mean, I'm not, I don't know. We're trained to be this way. We're trained to be submissive. We're trained to follow orders, truly. And some of the orders are disgusting. Some of them are like, you got to open the door for the woman. You're not allowed to make money. You're not allowed to be proud of yourself. You have to be willing to subjugate yourself before the woman and humble yourself. I'm serious. This is what little boys are taught. Okay. You need to be ashamed for being a man. Bow your head. What do you think that does to your testosterone? You think your testosterone is ever going to get up to 1,800 if you're treated like that as a boy? You think you will ever live in a Scottish castle if you're treated like that? How is it that some men can build pyramids, they can build castles, and other men can barely get by? What is it? Is it the difference between a man having, testosterone of 1,500, 1,800 versus a man who has testosterone of 300 or 400? And does that have to do with how his mother treated him or how he adapted to the world? Just how it's mental, my friends. It's mental. It's how you look at the world. So you could run into a whole bunch of troubles and you could say to yourself, oh, I expected to be treated like a king and I'm treated like a dog. Life is so unfair. And you will just crumble away. Or you could be in the exact same situation and you can say, this doesn't mean jack shit to me. I am a super badass. This is just another tiny little obstacle that I will step over like a giant astriding the world, like Atlas shrugging. You could just as well adopt that attitude. So you choose, little bitch or a real man. More than a real man. A powerful, great, capable man. So that's why I say, right? I am the third largest MGTOW channel in the world right now. It's just the truth. So there you go. And I'm pretty strongly settled too. Praise the sun. Thank you, Daniel Davis. Thanks for stopping by. Long and cold. How's it going, bro? Good to see you. Long time no see. So what I'm drinking now is chocolate milk with raw eggs. Chris Cantu recommended the raw eggs. I just can't stomach them yet. But if I mix them with the chocolate milk, you know what it tastes like? It tastes like Nestle's Ovaltine. Do you remember that stuff? Wasn't that stuff pretty good? Or Carnation Instant Breakfast. Tastes like Carnation Instant Breakfast. Love that stuff. Dan Gahau says, Wheelman says, Johnny MGTOW and Sandman are my mentors. I don't know who Johnny MGTOW is. I think I've seen somebody here hanging out with, the name, but I haven't checked out his channel yet or anything like that. TFM would definitely be number 2. Size-wise, power, yeah. So there you go. And a lot of other guys would be, right up there. And some guys dropped the MGTOW name and things like that. So, I'm just saying it like it is, but I'm also kind of like, joking around a little bit. Yeah, we've been here since, afternoon, Lawin. Thank you. Oh, you know what I'm trying to do? Why can't I pop this baby out? Pop it out, bitch. Pop out chat. That's what I'm talking about. Now we got the URL. Now we're piping the URL over into XSplit. Well, I don't need to tell you what I'm doing. Got to figure this stuff out for yourselves. If you want to be wizards and geniuses, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Now we're going to make some adjustments. There you go. Oh, blow me. There you go, everybody. Live chat. Praise the Sun says TFM is one of the most entertaining hosts I've ever listened to. Like, seriously, he is raw. Yeah, he's great. He's smart. He's funny. He's quick. Yeah, he's a real thought leader. You guys would be very wise to kind of like, follow his example, what he does, how he does it. Not, exactly what he does, but the idea of what he's doing and how he's doing it. Yeah, very impressive. Undeniable. And not arrogant. I'm joking. I couldn't just be complimentary. I had to say something. It's just the way it is. We're all human, okay? We're all driven by human emotions. And they're not always the prettiest things in the world. Falcon Black MGTOW is here, ladies and gentlemen. He says, do you people consider William Harmby real MGTOW? Hey, thanks for stopping by, Falcon. Good to see you. Everybody, check out Falcon's channel. He is raw. He is powerful. It's an experience just listening to this man talk, So check him out. And if you're strong, if you're strong enough, hang out, subscribe, leave some comments. Don't try to tell him what to do though. Like just maybe, say, oh, I would like this, but don't try to tell him what to do. I think I've seen William Hamby's name come up. I usually search MGTOW every day. I'll type MGTOW into, the search engine, and I'll select the filter, and I'll just say for today. So I usually do that every day, and I've seen him before, but I haven't had a chance to really watch his videos. And I'll tell you something, Falcon. When someone is MGTOW, you kind of know it. You know what I mean? So like if you're thinking about it, I mean, if you haven't checked out the channel, then okay, maybe you don't know. But it's usually pretty obvious. Like they're usually pretty consistent and pretty, passionate about things. Coach Lewis, thanks for the super chat, bro. He says, what books have impacted you the most? Well, the most, that's an interesting question. Right now, I'm reading a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk. Okay, and he's right here on YouTube. He's all over the web. So you can consume he produces more content than I do, a lot more. You know what I mean? He is a real super social media superstar. For real. Like he's going to buy the New York Jets one day. For real. So if you guys want to become super inspired, check him out. So I'm reading most of his books right now. I'm rereading Crush It, which I recommend to anybody who's involved. Geez, man, if you want to have an entrepreneurial lifestyle, if you want to be your own boss, if you want to do something here in a digital age online, then read Gary Vaynerchuk. Do yourself a favor. Read Crush It, watch his content right here online. And trust me, like the minute you watch him, you'll be like, oh, okay, yeah. I understand. Now, you might not like him. It's possible that some people will be like, oh, this is just too much. It's a little too much. But no, if you'll give him even a small chance, you'll be like, oh, okay, this guy's, he's connected, he's tuned in, he's crushing it, he's killing it. He's really inspiring. He's traveling the world. He does, I would imagine that he makes so much more money now just by doing keynote speeches. You know what I mean? That just companies just say, please, Gary, come, to our company. We've got, 500 people. They need to hear what you have to say. We'll pay you whatever you want, right? We'll fly you out here, whatever you want. Please just come speak to us for an hour and a half. And that's what he's, I would imagine. And he tapes it all, right? Like somebody's with him. Well, not 24 hours a day, but 18 hours a day, all work day. And they're ghosting him. They're shadowing him. They're recording him. It's all content, right? So when I'm saying, yeah, I could be here, Philip K. Dick. Yeah, I enjoy a lot of his work. So when I say I could be here, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I'm not kidding you people, right? We could, that would be a little much, but I would need to change the content format. A little more exciting. Just looking here at my cartoon avatar isn't really all that fun. I know. I'm sorry, people. Dr. Omni, what do you think about The Man in the High Castle? Right? And you know who the girl is that plays the lead in that, right? You know who she is, don't you? Let's see. Yeah, Ayn Rand is definitely necessary reading. Well, eventually you should get to it, or you can listen to the audiobooks. That's fine. Look, you don't have to read this stuff, people. Jeez, just type it into Google, type it into YouTube. You'll find a lot of audio on it. You don't have to read Nietzsche. That's crazy. Well, it's not crazy. But that's funny that I would say that. Oh, yeah. Day with MGTOW says, hey, Howard Dara, I'm from MGTOW Knowledge Darius channel. Thanks for stopping by, sir. Yeah, I'm good friends with Darius. He's a great channel. He tells it like it is. This is the kind of message that the men need to hear on a regular, consistent basis. And I'm telling you, one of the real MGTOW, we should be here all the time. You hear that? You feel that? That's what I'm talking about. Coach Lewis says, excellent, thank you. I have his Crushing It copy. It's fantastic. Oh, yeah. The updated version of Crush It, where he's, it's great stuff. Fairly new, too. Big John, yeah, MGTOW's Freedom. Incredible, I mean, the idea that we don't have these guys here available all the time for you guys, it's a crime. Do you know what I mean? Somebody should be able to put them, I'm not saying 24 hours a day, but 10 or 12 hours a day. Storms are coming. Falcon's getting subs. Good. Because, you got to show support to the good stuff. You really do. You got to drop some super chats. You got to go, drop some PayPals when you can, if you can. And if you can't, then for God's sakes, watch a few more videos about making yourself strong and independent. It's so important in this day and age for men. They're coming for your jobs. Don't you understand that? That she's going to attack you on your job? That the women that you're not bowing down to and holding doors open to and trying to get married to and simpering for all day long and making videos about all day long, all the time. Okay? When they see that you're a real man, when they see that you don't give a damn, they're going to try to get you fired. They did with me. Okay? As soon as I wasn't simping after some little bitch, some infected little hoe waving her ass at me, and I'm like, no, I'm not interested. It's like, well, then you're fired. Well, she's going to set you up and get you fired. And you must know that that's what young girls do. Not all of them, but plenty of them. Because they're, in their early 20s, and it turns out that they can fucking get the president of the United States to, to whip it out. Do you understand the power that she has over the man? So there's, an 18-year-old girl who barely knows how to fucking, perform basic arithmetic. And the senator of the state is looking at her and drooling and saying, anytime you want to come by my office, little girl, you just come on by. And she knows what he's saying. And she knows that she can do anything she wants and have anything she wants because the senator will do that for her because she's a pretty girl. And she doesn't even have to get together with him. She can just hint at it. So that's the kind of power that they have at an early age. At a very early age. And boys don't have that kind of power. So when they turn into little teenagers, they act like retards. They're all covered in dirt, wearing t-shirts. They're not making any money. They're drinking too much soda, eating too many Cheetos, and they're all upset about it. And it's like, wow, you're in for an even worse surprise because you've been set up. You've been knocked down to this level. Now you're never getting up. So that's what the MGTOW message is for. Also, do not go the road of the traditional tradcon blue pill man. Don't do it. Don't do that to yourself. Recognize that the game is rigged, that the system is rigged against you, that they want you to fail, that they want to put a hook through your nose and control you. And don't do it, because if you do, your life will be forfeited. And you won't have the personality or the character to build yourself up into a man. You'll always be a little simpering boy. And that sucks. And that'll destroy your health too. You'll never develop a male physique. You'll always be a fat little round boy, fat little soft boy who likes to drink soda. Drinking chocolate milk and raw eggs. So if you think you're just like a woman and you eat food just like a woman and you watch the same programs just like a woman and you have the same feelings just like a woman and you move through the world just like a woman because men and women are the same, then you're a crippled man. Then you are a man sitting in some wheelchair, sitting in some Hoover scooter, to move around. Tragic. Sad. This is why I have no problem with the idea of physical challenges. You know what I mean? It's like, well, you got to ride your bike. It's like, well, too bad. Good, bitch. It's 110 degrees out. Good. There is nothing on the surface of this earth like a man. Nothing. Not a giant bear, not a giant tiger, not a giant lion, not a giant whale. Nothing like a man. Nothing takes as long as a man to develop into his full strength. MGTOW Conquistador. He says, I said women were parasites to their husbands, and why pay a parasite equally to a man? Yeah, no doubt. Let me see if I can show you a meme that I recently retweeted. Let me go to my Twitter page. You guys check me out on Twitter. Check me out on Facebook. Check me out on Patreon. Don't forget to support the Howard Dare channel. Need your support, people. I can't continue to do what I do without your support. Now I'm looking to go to Twitter. I'm looking to grab a retweet. I think it was Twitter. Maybe it was Facebook. I'm pretty sure it was Twitter. Let's see. Oh, you know what I haven't done? I haven't shared this video over to my social media. Share the video. Get some more people here. Oh, there I am. Wait a minute. Is it? Yeah, real MGTOW chat for real MGTOW. Like that. Oh, just a great Twitter page. Oh, yeah, there it is. This is great. Here, let me see if I can just share this. I'll bet you I can't. I'll bet you Twitter's going to be like, hey, you're not allowed to share our webpage. Howard dare. You think you're trying to steal something? So this is, oh, wait a minute. Hey, tell me something. Can you guys, is your chat coming out in the right direction? Have I put it up here backwards, guys? Because I see it backwards in some instances, but I think on the page it's okay. Yeah, I'm going to assume that it's okay. So the chat, oh, Chris Cantu is here, everybody. Yeah, Lurk Squad, hashtag Lurk Squad. Hashtags are pretty powerful. You know, we can use them in the MGTOW videos now too. So let me see if I can add this. And I hope everything is coming out right side up or left to right. See if we can go to Howard Dare's Twitter's page. I think so. Oh, I don't want to log in, bitch. I just want to see the page. Yeah, check this out. See the artwork? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that crazy bitch. This is, you know, the one against free speech that I put out today. Oh my God, did I trigger so many leftist cucks? You wouldn't believe how many anti-Alex Jones people came over here and attacked this video. Unbelievable. Even I was surprised. And I barely mentioned him. You know what I mean? I was talking about how the left gets all butthurt whenever you say something that they don't agree with. So they're like, yeah, I think you should be taxed at 90% and you should pay for me to have free living wage, free housing, free medical care, free education. And you're like, holy shit, man, I can't even support myself. Please don't take 90% of my income to support a whole bunch of people that are lazy bums. And they're like, that's hate speech. You have no human compassion. And it's like, no, I just don't want you to rob from me. So, you know, that's what I was saying. And then I said, you know, look, they shut down Alex Jones. I guess he didn't have enough social points. I guess it's like we are in China because Google's running the whole operation over there for China. And you wouldn't believe how many butthurt leftists I had to silence. They came on and they were screaming. They were like saying, no, it's a private company. They can do anything they want at any time they want to anybody under any conditions. And that's bullshit. They can't. Okay. They still have to abide by their terms of service. Okay. They still have to abide by the laws of the United States. They still can't violate your civil rights. And if they're a monopoly, even more rules come down on them. And if they've ever received a penny of government money, a lot more rules come down on them. And all of them have received government money. They're all subsidized. Sorry, I got real excited. Okay, so here's the meme. Here's the tweet. Can you guys see this? It's the two horses, and there's the little princess horse, and she's nice and tiny and looking good. And here's the big male horse, and he's carrying all these things. Can you read that? Less comfortable working conditions. He's a big, strong horse. He's carrying more working injuries, fewer days off, different career changes, more workplace deaths. And she says, wait, let me make sure you guys can see it. And let me make sure that it's not backwards when you guys see it. Because when I see it, it's backwards, I'll tell you. Live events. YouTube. Show it to me live. No, you guys get it right side up. You know, left to right. That's a good one, isn't it? So look, you know, yeah, that's so good. So there's my Twitter page. Lots of good stuff going on there. Go over there and retweet it. Help me out. Coach Lewis, thank you for the super chat. I know I mentioned that earlier. I'm doing that because the other people haven't ponied up. Get it? Ponied up. But you know who has great Twitter? Darius. Darius has really good Twitter stuff. Here we are, real chat for real MGTOW. 68 people watching. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for stopping by. Got some big hitters in the house. Right, we've got Chris Cantu. We've got Falcon MGTOW. Check out his channel. Good stuff. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that stuff was working. Okay, I can turn that page off now, can't I? No, I don't know how. We're stuck. It's going to be here forever. Let's look at a little more. Oh, yeah. Here's Microsoft trying to shut down Gab, you guys. So Gab, it turns out, and I didn't know this, is kind of, or they're saying, look, it's probably not true. This article and some of the articles out there are saying that Gab is alt-right. I'll bet you they're not. I'll bet you that they're just free speech platform and that the mainstream media is trying to portray them as alt-right. And apparently Google has found like a couple of anti-Semitic posts by like a regular anti-Semitic poster, and they've given Gab like 2 days to take it down, or 3 days or something. And it's not a guarantee that Gab is going to do it, even though like Google says, and if you don't, you're probably going to lose all, hosting, and you're probably going to get shut down. But it doesn't even look, there's no guarantee that Gab is going to fold and do it. So that's an interesting story. You might want to check that out. There's more of my stuff, more of my incredible thumbnails. These thumbnails are pretty nice. I mean, they're getting nice. You know what I mean? Not to blow my own horn, but I am like the third largest MGTOW channel on YouTube, which means in the world. So not to blow my own horn, but yeah, the thumbnails are getting pretty nice because they're becoming abstract, thematic ideas, right? Like this picture did not come with feminism underneath it, and yet you can understand the parallels. You know what I mean? You can understand, like I could just send this out, and anybody could look at this and they could say, "Oh yeah, I understand. Feminism is women putting men, on a tightrope and making them walk and making them dance." So it's kind of like a meme, but in a much more artistic, watch my video kind of way. And there's nothing wrong with that. God damn it! What do you think, that a man should work for free? It's like, hi, I painted your house and I did it for free because I'm a simp. Because I'm a little bitch. And the woman's like, well, you're a good man. If you were a good man, you'd do it for free. And the man's like, oh, I'm a good man. I'll show you what a good man I am. I'll work for free my whole life. And whatever little money I do get, I'll give it to you. And she's like, God, what a simp. I'm so glad I cucked him. I'm so glad we're raising someone else's kids, What a tragedy it would be to bring those genes into the future. Because he's a slave. He's a cuck. And this is the way I see it. Okay? Don't approach the hoe. Let the hoe come to you. And then you set the terms. Okay? If you approach the hoe, she's going to be like, yeah, I'll sleep with you for $500. Okay? But if the hoe approaches you, you're like, well, I am going to McDonald's. I could give you a leftover Happy Meal. Okay? And believe me, she'll be happier with the Happy Meal. If you give her the $500, she'll cuck you. She'll be like, this guy's a piece of garbage. This guy is genetic wasted. He's just wasted material genetically. He's a simp. And if you think I'm joking around, I am not. Okay? This is exactly what the insects do. And if you think that the women thought this shit up, they haven't. This is pure instinct. This is pure evolution. Okay? That's why you're dealing with a monster. That's why you think you're dealing with a Disney princess, but you're dealing with the creature from Aliens. None of the men survive, okay? Wait a minute, Hudson makes it. Hudson makes it out, but he's all screwed up. None of the other men make it out. He makes it out because he's a total simp. No, he's fine. It was a good movie, wasn't it? Yeah, so there's feminism and men walking on tightropes. God, that's good stuff. Men. This is how women feel about men, guys. Why should they respect men? Because men want sex with them? Because men are willing to give over resources to get the sex? I don't want to freak you out, okay? But if you were a woman, would you respect that? You wouldn't. You would respect a man who said, look, these are my values, these are my standards, these are my principles. You're a pretty girl. I'd like to spend time with you, get to know you a little bit better, but if you're going to try to treat me the way they treat men in the media, I can't stand for that. I have to go do a job. I have to confidently fly a helicopter. I have to confidently, drive a truck. I have to confidently, program. I can't have somebody tearing me down. I have to step into the ring. Right? Every man has to step into the ring. And I can't have someone at my side. I can't have someone on my team ripping me down as I make my way to the fight. I mean, really, would you do that to yourself? If you were a fighter and you were going up against the champ, and this guy was fucking brutal, right? This guy is a killer. This guy fucking drinks raw eggs and chocolate milk. Okay, that's how much of a badass this guy is. So you're like, holy shit, does he really use chocolate milk? And they're like, yes, he really does. You're like, well, he's going to kill me. So you're walking to the ring to meet up with that guy, right? And you've got your girlfriend. You've asked her to come along. And she's like, yeah, I'll bet he makes more money than you. I've heard he's making a lot more money in this fight than you are. He has a lot more people applauding him. He has a lot more fans in the audience. I don't know. Maybe I should be on his side. Right? It's like, where are you going to take me for dinner after the fight? Is it going to be someplace expensive? I hope so. And you're like, shit, I don't even know if I'm going to make it out of the ring alive. And she's like, well, maybe you don't deserve to, thinking that she's motivating you and shit, right? When all she's doing is just ripping you down. Thanks, ladies. Thanks, women. Right? Men of Western civilization reduced to cucks and simps. Men, ha, ha, ha. That's how they feel about us. It was a good video. Okay, enough. That's Twitter. Actually, that's not me really using Twitter effectively, okay? Twitter really is for, like 140 something characters. I'm just using it incidentally. Like, it's actually almost like a bad thing the way I'm using it, because everybody would look at it and think, he's just hawking his videos. That's all he's doing. And that's kind of largely true, but I'm stepping it up a little bit. I'm stepping it up to, artistic, thematic vision, interpretation of a situation. You know what I mean? So it's like an abstract. I was like, well, what do you think he meant by that one? Oh, so, I was hanging out over at Chris Cantu's channel, and there were these really smart people over there commenting, but they're not here. They're not here. Okay. Which is upsetting, because I would like them, because I would like to get their input here too. Killfang. Say, Howard Dare, no building with 4 walls and a door has the right to deny your rights. Thank you, my friend. Joseph Dunphy says, that's disturbing. The whole point of Gab is free speech. Yeah, but every article I came across accused them of being alt-right. Which is just a way of them trying to smear and diminish and call somebody a Nazi. Chocolate milk and eggs. Delicious. Lawwood says, damn, there's a hentai anime I watched last night where a human man loves a woman who is a spider myth in Japan. It was a lovely scene till the moon turns red and she turns into a monster and eats the man's head. Exactly. He loves an irony how women, some are spiders. They kill men after sex. Oh, Lawin, if only you had it that good. If only the men had it that good. Yes, that's a common misconception. Watch my video, The Modern Woman and the Black Widow Spider. Maybe it's the Black Widow Spider and the Modern Woman, which is actually a better way of putting it. No, my friend. They eat his head before they have sex. He never gets to have sex. He comes into the web and he's like, hey, baby, I brought you some flowers. I brought you some chocolate. I got some tickets to the movie. Right. And she's like, and it's like, you killed him. You ate him. He was your date. And she, you know what she says? I thought he was going to rape me. He looked like Hitler. But that's not true. You know what I mean? She knows exactly who he was. He was a blue pill simp. He was a blue pill simp spider who brought chocolate, flowers, you know, to the web. And she was like, no, your genetics are not going to imps. There's no point. Super spider, super badass spider slips into the web while she's doing that. And you know what he does? Bang, bang. Thank you. And he does his work. You know what I mean? He gets the job done. Okay. She's like 20 times bigger than him. She is like a land whale, right? And he's like a little harpoon. And she's like, what was that? Did I feel something? Is that an itch? And he's out of there, right? The other one gets eaten alive. Most of them get eaten alive. This is true. Okay. I'm joking around, but yeah, most of them are eaten alive before they have sex. And it's called the false attack. We suspect that, you know, it's a mistaken identity, false attack. She thought he was Hitler. I swear to you, she thought he was Hitler. That's what she says. That's what the female spider says when the male cop spiders come. She says, I thought he was Hitler. Coach Lewis stepping up again, everybody. What's your diet like? How do you have so much energy? Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, I'm trying the raw eggs. I drink some milk. I'll tell you that. I do drink some milk and mostly meat, and I stay away from carbs. Not completely though. Like I don't mind having some fruit. I don't mind having a little bit of rice, but not much. Like if I buy a big bowl of rice and meat, I'll eat all of the meat and I'll have a few bites of the rice and then I'll throw it out. Because I don't like the effect on, you know, my blood sugar levels. I consume a respectable amount of fat. You know, I'm not afraid of fat. I'm not afraid of butter. I'm not afraid of milk. I'm not afraid of animal fats. But I don't overeat. I don't pig out. I'm not like I move like a jaguar. And it's noticeable from, you know, a great distance. And I'm not trying to be a badass or anything like that. I'm just saying that, you know, I spent many, many years just riding a bike, lifting weights, working hard, not having, you know, the things that most people have in life, having to eat, you know, at, you know, a really intelligent, thoughtful, you know, manner, like eggs, meat, a little bit of carb, a little bit of, you know, juice, a little bit of fruit, plenty of fat. That's about it. And if you think about it, you know, you must know that we evolved from like hunter-gatherers who walked and chewed on meat. And at the late summer, they, you know, ate as much fruit as they could get their hands on. That was good. They were always looking out for nuts and berries. They were always looking out for good vegetables, but you got to cook them. You know, you can't just eat them. That's how they ate. And they ate quality cuts of meat. Like they didn't eat garbage meat in large quantities. They ate good meat in smaller quantities. Now, like I said, I'm not afraid of fat anymore. Like if I'm buying hamburger, yeah, I want 20% fat. And chuck is fine. You know, that's fine. I haven't really gotten into like grass-fed, organic, even like organic milk or butters. I haven't gotten into those. Minimum coffee. Like I try not to drink coffee. I usually drink tea, but I'm willing to have a cup a day, maybe a cup every couple of days. Jack Bauer says, well, that is boring. No, not at all. You know, being healthy and being strong and being fit and having energy and being capable of doing anything, that's boring. I know this is the best way to go. And you know, I just use high octane gas, my friends. Okay. And I don't get any knocking in the engine. Daniel Davis, thank you for the super chat, my friend. He says a new MGTOW created redpillring.com that has rings with MGTOW symbols, pure gold. Should we publicly show that we are MGTOW or no? What do you think? Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, but they were really expensive rings too. Come on. Like $1,400 or something, and $1,600. It was on a newer MGTOW's channel too. I forget the name. Yeah, but I watched that, and yeah, then I saw the rings. No, I don't think so. I don't think you should walk out wearing a MGTOW symbol and people say, what's that? And you're like, that's a MGTOW symbol. And they say, what's MGTOW? And you say, MGTOW stands for men going their own way. And they're like, that sounds pretty fucking gay to me. Does that, is that men swearing off women? You're like, well, no, not exactly. And but sometimes, well, it's men. And they say, yeah, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. So that's stupid. So no, I don't think so. And then they're like, Johnny, can we talk to you in the office, please? We're going to have to let you go. Heard something a little disturbing earlier today. So no, I don't think most people should, go out and be like, I'm MGTOW. Ask me about MGTOW. Hey, unless you're someone special, like Chris Cantu, I don't even think you should show your face, right? Like all these guys who are like, let me tell you about MGTOW. It's like, shut up, don't. You're actually giving MGTOW a bad name. Now, if you want to look like Chris Cantu, you want to look like Big John, from MGTOW's Freedom, yeah, fine, you go right ahead. Other than that, who the hell do you think you are? I'm sorry. You've got to be respectable. You've got to have a real image, Like I'm not going to put an avatar up here of some guy smoking a pipe. I'm just not going to do it, guys. Or punching people. I'm just not going to do it. Sorry. It's a positive message. It's a healthy message. We have a great opportunity to reach out to other men, other people in the world, and it's a responsibility. We're not allowed to badmouth people. We're not allowed to trash people. We're not allowed to, we shouldn't do it. It's unworthy, okay? And if you're going to play music, play some nice music, play some decent music. It doesn't have to be, like classical music. That's not what I mean. I mean, make some effort. You know what I mean? Don't be like an idiot who is hitting pots and pans. Don't be like a retard that's pretending to play the guitar. Play the guitar, right? Be sincere. And if you want to come on here and into MGTOW and talk about these issues, then do your best and don't put out a negative message because you're hurting the cause. You're hurting other men. And there's no reason to do that. Like you could just not do anything until you develop the skills. Or like, why would you go and get up on stage before you could play your instrument? So why do you think that you can come and talk to other men when you're 17 years old and have something, really smart and useful to say? Don't you? Maybe. And you, by all means, if you feel, if you feel like you want to do it, by all means, do it. But be sincere. Don't punish us because you have free speech. So I don't think a man is ready to go out in public and say it. A lot of people are like, Howard Dare, why don't you show your face? It's like, because the things I say are so controversial. They're so cutting edge. They're so badass. They're so in your face. They're so anti-establishment. Okay. I'm sorry. The other guys are listening. It's like, yeah, but how are you ever going to get laid, man? Like, oh, you poor little man. I'm not trying to get laid. Like, but you're going to get fired, man. It's like, guy, I've already been fired. You're going to get fired. And you just don't know it yet. You're playing in a crooked game. And everybody in the world knows it. The woman knows it. The boss knows it. The media knows it. The teachers know it. The girl knows it. The only one who doesn't know it is the man himself. Because she's beautiful and he loves her. And every morning she's getting up and putting on her makeup and, pumping herself up. Right? And everybody's like, that's right, girl. You go, girl. Strong, independent woman. That's right. And every morning the guy's like, well, you look beautiful. And she's like, I saw you looking at the television in those magazines with those pretty girls, and I threw them away and I broke the television. You can't watch that show anymore. You can't watch football either. Underneath the cheerleader skirts, that's not their panties. That's part of the uniform. It's like, ah, shit, you ruined it for me. Like, and I was only watching for the cheerleaders. Devil Key is here, and he says, I think you'd eventually get attacked if you were open about it. I'm a bit wary of giving guys advice, even when it's a conversation between just me and them. Oh, very smart, Devil Key. Yeah. Even a conversation in private between you and one of your best friends about these issues, and they will be like, what are you talking about? Men and women are the same. And you'll be like, no, they're not. Throughout all of human history, the women have not done any of the things that the men have done. Like, well, that's because they were treated unfairly. What about Madame Curie? And what about Amelia Earhart? And what about Joan of Arc? And what about Emily Bronte and her sisters? And you're like, okay. That's like 5 or 6. Right, there you go. Congratulations. What about J.J. Rowling? She's a great writer. And it's like, well, not when you compare to someone like Shakespeare or Tolstoy or Dostoevsky. Right? She doesn't even match up against someone like Robert Heinlein. So? It's feminist propaganda. You have to feel sorry for the young. Look, and if the man doesn't say that, he gets fired from his job. Like he was at work the other day, and someone else said the exact same thing, right? And if he didn't say those exact words as I said them, he was going to get fired. So he said them. And now he's talking to you out in the middle of nowhere. And there's no one there, and he says them again. And then when you say, no, okay, fine, that's 4 or 5. And you can't even prove that any of them actually didn't get anything but lucky. He's like, I don't know if we can be friends anymore. And this is how the left works. This is what being a part of a social group, this is what it has become. When it's a leftist collectivized group, that's what it is. It's you follow the rules, the norms, the expectations of the group, or the group is going to turn on you. Not Western civilization, where it's like, well, I'm going to do what's logical and right and is most productive and is best to help me get towards my goals. No! You do what's best for the group. You go along with the group. Look at how quickly feminists will kick out their own. Look at how quickly they won't support women in other parts of the world that are suffering when it doesn't fit their threat narrative of the white man who oppresses them. Okay? They don't give a damn about women suffering over there in third world countries. They don't say a damn thing. And when it's brought to their attention, they're like, I don't care. But that guy over there, he wore a t-shirt. He wore a shirt with pinup models on it. He's a bad man. It's like they killed 1 million. You know what I mean? They're doing horrible stuff over here. And you're not saying a word. This guy wears a shirt. And you're, pretending that, it's a capital offense. So that's how they treat the men in this civilization. That's how they treat you. That's how they want to treat me. And that's why the MGTOW message is important. That's why it's not red pill. That's why it's not PUA. That's why it's MGTOW, okay? Because they're not your friends. They're not going to help you. They're not going to be fair to you. Men and women are not the same. They're not exactly the same. You're going to be destroyed like the spider. You're going to get your head bitten off. That's why the message is the MGTOW message, not the red pill PUA message. I'm sorry, my friends. I know you'd rather hear about picking up chicks at a bar. I know that. It's not too hard. Shit. As I said, don't approach the hoe. Let the hoe approach you. Because then you set your own terms. Never approach a hoe. Especially from the blind side. She'll kick you. Okay? You ever been kicked by a hoe? It's a hell of a thing. Kick you right in the gut. Lose your job, lose your kids, lose your friends, lose your family, lose your place in life. All because a hoe kicked you. All she has to do is like go to the boss and say, I don't know. I'm a little uncomfortable around him. He makes me feel, I don't know, just a little off. And the simp boss is going to listen to that. And he's going to be like, oh, baby, I'm sorry. Did the bad man scare you? Do you want me to chop off his head? And the girl's going to be, bring me the head of John the Baptist. And the boss is going to be, well, I don't think we have to actually kill the man and chop off his head, do you? And she's going to say, you've been looking at my daughter, haven't you? And you're going to say, well, she's 18. She's an attractive young girl. She looks like you. And then she's going to say, you're some sort of a pedophile. You're some sort of a criminal. You're some sort of a creature that needs to be locked up and put away. Bring me the head of John the Baptist. And the man's going to be, look, bitch, I'm not going to do that just for you. I'm not going to hurt another man just for you. And she'll be like, but would you do it for my daughter? What if my daughter smiles at you and dances for you? Because I know that you're a perv. And the man's like, well, I am a bit of a freak. Okay. If your daughter dances for me, I will bring you the head of John the Baptist. And so the little girl does her little dance, and then they call you into the offices, and they say, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to let you go. It seems that you've made some inappropriate statements that have made some of the women and, the protected groups here very, very uncomfortable. And we're going to be putting that down on your record. You're going to be like, I didn't say anything to anybody. I don't know what you're talking about. And then she's going to be like, I told you that's what he said. That's what he would say. And the boss is going to be, look, you've got 15 minutes to, pack up your stuff and clear it out. And don't talk to anybody on your way out. And if you're not out of here by then, we're going to call security on you. Right? And you're like, so you're firing me? And he's like, no, not at all. I'm not firing you. I'm accusing you of sexual harassment. And we may come after you legally. And we certainly will be informing other people in the industry. This is going on your permanent record. So you are John the Baptist, okay? And your job is your head getting cut off. Because when you lose your job, you're going to go back to your woman and you're going to be like, I lost my job pushing a broom where they gave me pennies. And she's going to be like, what? You're going to be like, I lost my job pushing a broom for another man where they gave me pennies. She's going to be like, you dirty, rotten son of a bitch. Where's my money? I need my money. And you're going to be like, whoa, wait a minute, sweetheart. Whoa, Nelly. And she's going to be like, you think this is some sort of fucking joke? I have a boyfriend. I have to buy him Jordan 1s. Fucking Jordan Retros. He wants the new Shadows. And you don't make any money pushing a broom anymore. You're like, what? What do you mean? You've been spending my money on your boyfriends? She's like, well, I'm not getting any of it from you, am I? So now you're getting kicked again. Right? You've gotten your head chopped off. Now you're getting kicked in the gut by a hoe. Welcome to your blue pill life, my friend. You chose a blue pill life. You decided to go with PUA. You decided to go pump and dump. Sorry, friend. Because maybe she even has your kid, right? You're looking at the kid and the kid kind of looks like you, like, like it's suffering, and it kind of looks like her, like a vicious monster. And you're like, oh, hello. And they're like, Row! And you're like, oh shit, it's the monster. I thought it was my kid, but it's not. And it's not. It belongs to her and it belongs to the state. And if she wants to turn your little boy into a little girl, so be it. That's why the message is MGTOW. That's why the message is not PUA. That's why the message is not, red pill, but still a little PUA once in a while. The message is MGTOW. Now you don't approach the hoe. Now you don't show up at the spider web with candy. and drinks and tickets to the movie. Coach Lewis stepping up again, you guys. Thank you, Coach. This is what keeps me going. I think I might have made like $10 on AdSense today if I was lucky. They're throttling, the political messages that they don't agree with. In other words, I only get so many views per week, no matter how many videos I release. I can release 20, I can release 50, it doesn't matter. The videos can be great production quality, they can be low production quality. It doesn't matter. I always get the same number of views every week. And if I have one video that's doing really well and it's getting, 500 views an hour, and then I put out another video and it picks up 200 views an hour, guess what happens? The other one drops to 300 views an hour. Do you understand? We're throttled. We're controlled. We're metered. They're not putting us out into the real algorithm. So if you want a MGTOW message, support the MGTOW message. Otherwise, PUA is different. Red pill is different. That has much wider appeal. Coach Lewis says, what do you think PUA influences, such as entrepreneurs and cars guy? Are they scammers profiting from insecure, desperate men? Yeah, I'm afraid so. Yes, that's exactly what they are. They're coming in from the PUA side, and they're trying to reach into MGTOW to just build up their audience. All this red pill stuff is divorced, desperate, horny men trying to pretend that you should follow in their footsteps. And if you do, you will be destroyed. Yes, I'm afraid so. Now, other than that, they seem like really cool guys. They seem like smart guys. They seem like cool guys. But they're not MGTOW, and they're giving a false message to men and boys so that they can profit from it. I don't profit from MGTOW. I really don't. I profit from helping people, making sure that they don't fall into a terrible trap. And now some of the like really confused guys that are just hearing this message are thinking, oh, you're saying that I have to give up women, Howard Dare? No, I'm not. I'm saying that you have to stop begging and simping for the women. I'm saying that you don't need to go up to a hoe and beg and offer her all the money in the world. I'm saying that you should become a strong, healthy man where, when a woman looks at you, she's like, whoa, what's your name? What are you doing? What's that smell? Nice car. Do it that way. Don't approach her. Don't chase her. Women don't respect men who chase them. You can show that you're interested in a woman. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. As long as you do it, as long as you're not, as long as you don't whip it out and show it to her. As long as you're subtle about the whole thing. You can show her that you're interested, but then you got to back off. If you chase at that point in this day and age, you're a fool. Henry Cavill, said it, right? He says, I'd like to pursue a woman that I find attractive, but I can't. She'll misinterpret, she'll actually think I'm, like trying to rape her and shit when I'm just a man doing what men do. But you can't do that anymore. It's unfortunate. I don't know why women have done what they've done. I don't know. I mean, it's asinine. You know what I mean? I'm just as good as a man. That's right. It's like, are you really? Really? Are you sure? Because I'm pretty sure that I can walk up to you, stand next to you, and intimidate you so fucking much that you'll jump out of a 20-story building if I want. I don't have to threaten you to do jack shit. I just need to look at you, and you'll do it before I do it. That's how fearsome it can be. Men and women are just the same. Really? I can guarantee you that nobody's looking at me and thinking to themselves, I want to kiss him. Nobody's doing that. They're looking at me and they're thinking, it's a nice, healthy guy. No problems. How you doing, bub? That's all they're thinking when they see me. Is that what they think when they see a woman? When a blue pill simpish man sees a woman, is that what he thinks? No, it's not. He's thinking, oh my God, she's beautiful. I would do anything for her. Hey, baby, guess how much money I make? She's like, I don't care. You're a simp. You're unworthy. I like that guy over there who's ignoring me and acts like I'm not worth a dime. That's the man I find interesting. So it's like, oh, come on, baby. After her. And she's a hoe. She's a jackass. She's a donkey. So she kicks him in the head or in the side. And he's like, oh, baby, come on. Don't do that way. So, You want to be that man? Go ahead, be that man. I'll tell you though, even that man is no longer that man. He acts like he's that man, but he doesn't really act that way in real life. In real life, he's like, yes, honey, right away, honey, I'm sorry. I'll get that to you right away. That's what he acts like. And you can tell. It's not like if you don't lift weights and you walk up for a 300-pound deadlift, I can tell whether or not you lift weights before you lift that weight. I can say to you, whoa, stop. Don't even. Step away. You're not ready. I can tell. Now, maybe, you're a real strong guy. All right. But learn what you're doing, understand what you're doing. Do it the right way. Come at it the right way. Because if you come at it the wrong way, you're very likely going to hurt yourself. You're very likely going to do something foolish, stupid, and wrong. And you know that good. Don't do it. Do you know what it's like to swim into a wall at top speed and then swallow dirty water and go under in the deep end? Don't do it. You know what I mean? You got to come at these things the right way. Do you know why professional athletes blow out their knees and have to be operated on and can't work for 2 years and maybe it's the end of their career? You got to come at these things the right way. In dealing with women, oh my gosh, it's a huge one, especially for you young guys out of college, just making your way in the world. It's a little better for you guys, but be careful, right? Like they're younger women and they're not so hateful and they don't expect so much. And you don't, as a younger man, you're not so aggressive, but you still have to be really careful. Like you meet a nice girl and, you go out and maybe you spend the night and you just fool around or something like that. But then maybe you don't call her for a few days, and she's like talking to her friends and then her friends start to spread rumors and then you're in a lot of trouble at school and she maybe never intended to do anything, So it's really tricky. It's really dangerous, and I certainly understand that you want to hang out with her. Yeah, of course. Just be aware, of how dangerous it is, the situation. Maybe, hang out around some friends or something like that. Go pretty slow. Emily says the girl at the gym was making these dumbass noises when she was lifting weights. Well, some guys do that too, but they're usually lifting pretty big weights when they're doing it. AP 530 says Olympic lifting is the best lifting. Not everybody's ready, for clean and jerk. Not everybody, very few people are ready to snatch heavy weight. You know what I mean? Like even a really strong, fit man. That's like, you better, you need a little time before you start doing that shit. And, watch some serious Olympic lifting. And sometimes, the injuries and the way that like somebody will drop a weight sometimes, or the way a shoulder will pop out, or the way an elbow can rip out, be careful, understand, was talking about letting the bar hit the shins, how painful and dangerous that is. And yet for the clean and jerk, you're bouncing it, right off your thighs. Even for the snatch, there can be some bouncing off the thighs, although I didn't see the reason for it, because you have to get under it so quickly that you gotta go now. There's no time. So not everybody's ready to do Olympic lifting, and look, what are you training for? What I mean with the Olympic lifting, how are you building up? You're building up with your deadlifts. You're building up with your squats. You're building up with some bench press. You're building up with some overhead press. You're building up with not very many bicep curls. I'll tell you that. Not very much bench work either. I'll tell you that. It's almost all powerlifting. So there you go. It doesn't build a great physique. Well, it can build a good physique, it depends on how you approach it. I don't know how much into Olympic lifting you are, but do you remember the old Russian champion. I forget his name, but he was a big fat guy, and he was way up there. He was like clean and jerking like well over 500 pounds. He was snatching well over 400 pounds. And he was huge. He was just a huge bulk of a man. And then a new generation, and it's the Russians. Okay, and this was 15, 20 years ago. And then a new man came up, Anatoly. And Anatoly was built nothing like him. You wouldn't need to look at Anatoly, you'd be like, what, is he like a sprinter? He had a really good physique. It was real trim. It was very muscular. It was very solid. He was bulky and thick in the legs and thick in the hips a little bit. But like you wouldn't look at him and think, oh, that's the strongest man in the world. That's the best lifter in the world. You just wouldn't have thought that. And sure enough, he just beat the shit out of him, and he stayed there for a long, long time. And now you look at the lifters today, they're not big, fat, heavy guys. They're really trim, strong, compact. But you do get kind of bulky. Sometimes women go into powerlifting and they get some bulk. Women bodybuilders, and they take testosterone and everything, and they develop all kinds of muscles. They develop a better attitude too, Look, large amounts of testosterone, assuming that the man is healthy and he's actually, using it, that's good for a man. That's good for almost anybody. This is the reason why some men build castles and bridges and skyscrapers, and other guys just push a broom their whole life. You should get a job working for another man, Howard Dare. I've got like 5 or 6 boys who come on here regularly and say that. You should get a job for another man, working as a slave your whole life for free and give it to your mommy. I was like, fuck that shit. I'm not doing that, little sissy crybaby. I'm like going to be like that Dan Pena guy who's got a castle in Scotland, right? And has the best shit in the world. I want to be like him. I don't want to be like some broken down bum, some no good broom pusher. I don't want to do that. I don't want to work at a gas station. And I'm not shaming anybody who is. I'm just saying that, come on, we can do a little better. You do know how to use computers. You do understand that, Google is making like $60 million a day. Don't you understand that? That us hanging out here is creating millions of dollars? Don't you understand that? Well, not everybody does. That's what's happening. Okay. Google is making, I don't know, how much does Google make per day now? If you had just 1/10 of that, you'd be like, whoa, this is a great life, man. I can go and do anywhere and nobody gets to tell me anything and I don't have to fucking worry about bullshit. MGTOW Frank says, if Howard Dare went full Alex Jones MGTOW, feminists are taking over the world and they want to steal your souls for Satan, and I'm not going to stand for it, ladies and gentlemen. They made the frogs gay. They're making the frogs gay. Yeah, I could go full Alex Jones. I think we should all go full Alex Jones. I think everybody on YouTube should just start fucking doing Alex Jones right now. Well, maybe not. I mean, but PewDiePie and those guys definitely, right? I wonder PewDiePie's imitation of Alex Jones. That would probably be pretty good. It would probably be like, holy shit, that's his son. PewDiePie is Alex Jones' son. I never knew. Yeah, that's a good idea. My Alex Jones imitation. I think he'll be bigger as a result of this. And I think they did it because of the upcoming election. Turning the freaking frogs gay. Exactly. I can't imagine working at a gas station, says Coach Lewis. Oh, you can't just go hang out with some of the fake MGTOW. They'll tell you all about it. That's all they fucking talk about. They talk about how great it is to work for other men. It's so disgusting. And some of them are like full-grown men, too. It's like, get a real job pushing a broom for another man. It's like, oh, what happened to you? Did she hurt you that bad? Were you in a relationship with a woman that worked you so hard, so mercilessly, that you were like digging ditches? cleaning out shit for pennies to give it to her. I love you, baby. Here's my paycheck. It's only $50 a month. And I'm really sick and tired, but I really love you. And she's like, well, I'm going to need about 5 or 6 more of these before I can buy those new Jordan, shadows. What the fuck? My boyfriend can't wait that long. He'll leave me. I have to take your business money too. Not just taking the household money. I'm taking all the business. I'm fucking pawning your car. And he's like, but that's the car I use to get to work, to push a broom. And she's like, I don't give a shit. My boyfriend wants new shoes. Baby needs a new pair of shoes. And the man's like, okay, honey, I'll sell my car so that you can buy your boyfriend sneakers. Do you love me now? And she's like, I never loved you. That's not even your kid. It's like, but he looks like me. And it's like, no, he doesn't. You just imagined that. He doesn't look anything like you. He looks like my boyfriend. Which reminds me of the joke, of the man and the woman. They're in bed. And the man says, honey, if I died, would you sell the house or would you, stay in the house? And she's like, well, it's a nice house and it is all paid for. So I'm sorry, honey, but I would probably stay in the house, right? Because the market's not very good right now. And, that's just the way it is. He says, yeah, I understand. I understand. And he says, honey, if I died and you didn't sell the house and you got, remarried, would you keep this bed? Would you stay in this bed with the new man? And she's like, well, honey, this is a pretty new bed. This is a really expensive bed. This is a great fucking bed, right? So I'm not letting go of this bed for anything. I love this bed. He's like, yeah, this is a great bed. No doubt about it. I spent a, fortune on it. She's like, yeah, sorry, I don't want to upset you, honey, but it's just the way it is. And then he's like, well, honey, if I died and you got remarried and you kept the house and you were sleeping in this bed, would you let the new man drive my car? And she's like, oh, fuck no. He drives a stick. Yeah, get it? Okay. I hope so. I hope you get it. Because if you don't get it, you're in for a big surprise, my friend. Oh my God. Chocolate milk and eggs. It's delicious. Every last drop. Praise capitalism. Praise capitalism. Yeah. Let me hear a hallelujah for capitalism. Amen. Amen, my brothers. Yeah, really. Capitalism has lifted more people out of poverty than anything in the world. You look at the progress of humankind throughout the ages, and it's a deadline, man. It's just a straight deadline down there at the bottom of the graph, Then you have capitalism, boom, and the whole thing takes off like a hockey stick. You know what I mean? It just, boom, it just shoots up. Well, that's enlightened self-interest for you. That's, every man works. If you work hard, you get paid well. If you don't work hard, you don't get paid. That's capitalism. It's great stuff. And you're designed to be a master of that, not a broom pusher, not a servant, not a slave. You're designed to live in a Scottish castle. I promise you. Right? Like, you're literally Hitler. No, but you are literally Genghis Khan. And you are literally Alexander the Great. Most of you. That is your inheritance. That is your legacy. But it falls to you to protect it now and to defend it. In face of shutting down someone like Alex Jones. In the face of the way that the media tries to attack and tear down Trump, even though he is the duly elected president. Look, what do you want to see happen? America is going to have its midterm elections. If the Democrats win the House, they will impeach Trump. They will just make up charges. Russian collusion, something else, whatever. Okay. That's how they play this game. Is that what you want? That's not what I want. I would like to keep making progress. You know, take a look at my avatar. Who does he look like? I think he looks like Trump. You guys know I'm the president of MGTOW, right? Did you guys know that? Yeah, it's true. And even though like a whole bunch of people are all angry at me and, you know, talking shit, I'm still the president. Right? That doesn't mean I'm not the president. So there you go. And, you know, and the point is that I'm president for a very good reason. Because these are the principles. These are the ideals. That's it. You know, I can articulate them. I know what they are. Others can too. But see, there you go. Others can too. That's the Chris Cantu name right there for you. You can too. So I like that. Check out Chris Cantu's channel. Check out Chris Cantu over on Patreon. He's releasing a lot of good stuff over there. He's writing. There's some podcasts over there, which is just, you know, like long talks, you know, hour-long, you know, podcasts, just voice. There's writing, you know, there's articles, there's books, starting of books, graphs. I mean, I don't read. I don't know what it says, but it's pretty impressive. So you might want to check that out. Tyler Durden is back. Troubled young man. Good luck to you. But, you know, don't hurt the others like a mad dog. You know what I mean? Like you're another dog in the pens, and I understand you're a snappy little guy, but don't be biting anybody too seriously, because you're not as big as you might think. I like German engineering. Well, the Germans are great engineers. There's no doubt about it, right? Like they built the EU too, right? Or did the Dutch build the EU? Isn't the EU an interesting little monster, right? Because you must know, or you need to know, that at its heart, you know, it's I would say that it's mainly, you know, a currency, right? That it's just a marketplace. That was its main thing. But now, with the level of control that it's instituting, and it's really not all that interested in profit, you know what I mean? It doesn't mind bankrupting its own countries. It doesn't mind at all. Trump doesn't want to let that happen. What are they? You know what I mean? Like the way the Dutch and the EU is trying to control Britain through the Brexit situation. What's really going on here? Is Britain a vassal of the EU? It seems that way, doesn't it? Are all of these countries vassals of the EU? And is Germany in charge of EU with Dutch? What do I call the Dutch? Do I call the Dutch the Dutch? Because, you know, you don't call people from Turkey Turkeys. You don't call people from Hamburg hamburgers. And you don't call people from Frankfurt Frankfurters. So what do you call the Dutch? Because just calling them the Dutch zoning, I don't know. Canada is a vassal of the EU. It seems like it, doesn't it? Yeah, poor Canada. They're just too polite, but they're pretty smart. They're smart. The Turkish, the Turks, call them the Turks as well. The Dutchies. We call them the Dutchies? The Dutch, they are from Denmark. Well, I'm talking about the people that are pretty much right across the English Channel. Who are they? Not the French, you know, the ones that are further, you know, to the east. Isn't that the Dutch? And aren't the people from Denmark the Danes? And doesn't Denmark include like Sweden, Denmark, which goes way up? Look, all I know is, from playing various Total War games. Okay? That's how I know my geography around the globe. Praise the sunset. Everyone is a vassal of either the U.S., EU, Russia, or China. Also, Islamic world. But it's a whole other mess. Danes from Denmark, yeah. From Holland. Okay, yeah, exactly. That's Holland. That's right across the English Channel. That's Holland. That's what I was thinking of. Bridgeburner says, yes, we have a few heavy hitters. Molyneux, Peterson, McInnes. I'm not sure who I know who McInnes is. Yeah, I think I do. Okay. I don't consider him, though, up like at the level of Molyneux and Peterson. But I really like both of those guys. I like, and you guys are going to get mad at me, I like Lauren Peterson. I think she's being really brave. I think she's really stepping it up. I think she's fearlessly going into places and confronting, local police and shit like that. No, she's not MGTOW, okay? But she's stepping up for the truth and for freedom and for individual rights. And that's good enough for me. You know what I mean? I admire that. That's virtue. That's strength. That's courage. I admire that. I don't tear that shit down. If somebody comes in here and starts talking shit about people that are virtuous, you come in here, you start talking shit about Chris Cantu, I'll throw you out. You come in here and try to talk shit about any of my friends, I'll throw you out. You come in here and try to talk shit about me, I'll mess with you the way a cat plays with a mouse. I will rip you to pieces, then I'll throw you out. Anybody want to come into this hangout? Go ahead and shoot me an email, hshare754@gmail.com. I'll invite you right in. Oh yeah, you're looking at this and you're thinking, what the hell is this? He's got the chat up there. Oh my God, he's got his avatar up there. He's even got graphics in the background. No, my friends, this is a Google Hangout. That's right. You see that icon in the corner up there? Where is it? It should be up there someplace. Should say Google right up there. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's over here. Everything's backwards though. So I'm projecting, the avatar and the chat and the space background into the Google Hangout from XSplit. And I'm saying that my camera is XSplit. But yeah, there's the Google. This is a Google Hangout, my friends. So that's pretty cool, huh? 66 people watching. 66 people in the box. Go ahead and hit that like button. Support the Howard Dare channel. We need your support to produce more content like this. I want to hang out. Please don't make Howard Dare go away. Why? Why, Demi? Why? Why you do this to me? That's from The Exorcist. Wasn't that creepy? The young priest, he's imagining that the demon is his mother. Right? So they're exorcising the demon. And all of a sudden he goes into this vision mode, even though it's in the same room, and the demon is his mother. And she says, why? Why, Demi? She's crying, why are you doing this to me? It hurts, Demi. Please stop. That's when he starts screaming, you're not my mother. Then he starts beating the shit out of her, right? That might be right before the end. That was a scary movie, right? Maybe not so scary nowadays, but for its time, it was pretty scary. I think I was like about 13 years old, okay, or 12 or 13 years old. And my sisters graciously took me to the theater with them for like a 10 o'clock showing of The Exorcist. And, I was very pleased, but I don't know if they were doing it to be my friend. They were. Yeah. So watched that movie at about 12 or 13 years old, and then just went home at about 1 o'clock in the morning. And just there I was in the pretty much like an empty house where everybody else was asleep. I was like, holy shit. So go ahead and shoot me an email. Where are we at? Where can I put it so that you click on it? Because you'll never remember it. Google alert, Howard Dare, daily update. That's right. You say the word Howard Dare on Google any place and I get an alert. Boop, boop, boop. Someone's talking about Howard Dare. Like, inform Howard Dare. Let him know. Then I go and I check it out. And it's like, oh, it's just me talking about me. How great I am. Sorry. I'm messing with some people when I say that, everyone. I'm screwing with some people. That's why I'm doing that. But it's a good thing to do, okay? I want you to develop some daily affirmations for yourself, things that you repeat to yourself every morning. Like, I'm great. I am a super badass. I am one of the most powerful MGTOW channels in the world. I have more MGTOW influence than, I could possibly imagine. I'm able to reach millions of people around the world. I can reshape the course of human history into the future. It's a little bullshit. You know what I mean? It's a little over the top, right? But that's okay. That's what it's supposed to be. Because there's too many people that are looking at you and saying, you're a piece of shit. You can't do nothing. My watch is more expensive than yours. My car is more expensive than yours. This is the way men are interacting a lot of the time, So you need to counteract that stuff. Wait a minute. Let me double check that. When free speech offends the left, join me, Howard Dare. Yeah, I triggered a bunch of leftists. I really did. They got really butthurt too. It was funny. I enjoyed it. It was a little nasty though. They came down pretty hard on me in the comments section. And I was like, yeah, but, and then, you're not. And then I was like, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. These are leftist talking points. I'm beta blocking you. And that's what I did. That's pretty fun. What else is going on? Oh, yeah, I wanted to show you guys the email so that you could click on it and be like, let me in there. I have something to say. But I can't find the window. Here it is. Here, I'll make it easy for you. Oh, no, that's not right. H-Dare. That's right. Yeah, so you see my, my Twitter page, right? We just put images up there. I'm going to start putting out some little basic, oh yeah, the shekel plant, that's right. Let's bring him in too, since, we can, since we have that power. Where is he? There he is. Shekel plant is live and well, my friends. And he can even be a little bit bigger than that, too. And he can even dance around a little bit, my friends. He likes to be with you guys, though. He does. He prefers to be over there. He prefers right here. This is where he likes to be. Right down here. Thank you. Yum, yum, yum. See, he's eating. He's dancing and he's eating. And he needs food. Does this need to come over a little bit? I can't even grab it. I'm sorry, people. Sometimes I'm just doing things, moving things around, stuff like that. Tyler Durden says, Peterson is a cook. So, Peterson has like an IQ of 180. Tyler Durden can't really get his YouTube channel going. Tyler, clean your room. Clean your room. Wash your car, too. Cut your hair. If you're going to call yourself Tyler Durden, you really need to, step it up to the next level, my friend. You really do. You can't be a little bitch and call yourself Tyler Durden because it's too badass of a name. You've got to start representing some of, what you're calling on. I think you have it. Like if you're going to call yourself Alexander the Great, then you better start acting like Alexander the Great. That's all I'm saying. So, no, Peterson, look, When the student is ready, the teacher will appear, okay? Peterson is the teacher, and he's teaching you about psychology, and you better learn. You better learn fast. You better get it down. And Tyler, seriously, chill. I'm sorry, right? I'm sorry, I'm being an ass. But seriously, let's say a guy really does have, like a doctor, really does have some helpful information to you, but he's a cuck, or, like he's a married man, right? But the information that he has for you is great information. So are you going to turn down that information because he's a cuck? Are you going to turn it down because he's blue pill? Are you going to turn it down because he goes to a different church than you? Are you going to turn it down because he likes different music from you? Are you going to turn it down because he likes different ice cream than you? So if a doctor has a life-saving procedure or operation that, can save your life, but he goes to a different church than you, and he's the only doctor who has this, are you actually going to turn it down? And if you do, then you deserve your fate. And I don't want to let you drag other people down into your little, pathetic pity party. I don't want to let that happen. And I pity anybody who has to do it with you, right? Like if you've got friends or family that are relying on you and you won't get the help that you need because, maybe you disagree with the man on some other issue. That's complete foolishness. That's complete stupidity. Now, what if the man could give you some information that if you followed it and applied it in your own life would reduce the suffering in your life by 50% and increase the quality of your life by 50%? Would you be too proud to take it? Even as a young man, why couldn't you recognize, oh man, this guy's talking about some real shit? This is what's happening in the orders. Although if you don't know any better, right, you got to learn somewhere. No, I'm don't be all judgmental. Okay. Don't be all judgmental. Take what's good, take what other people have to offer that's valuable. Judge the worth of these things by their effectiveness, not by any other bullshit. And your friends around you talking shit, don't listen to them. They're not going to amount to anything. So what, you want to be like that guy who's 50 years old and who's pushing a broom? Okay, fine, then listen to him. You want to be like that guy who's 50 plus years old and is going to jail? Whose wife and kids hate him and all of his family hates him? You want to be like him? Ew. Go ahead, but don't infect. You know what I mean? You got a lot of time. Don't worry about it. Sorry, man. I'm the wrong person to mess with. People think like, oh, Howard Dare, oh, F you, Howard Dare. And it's like, no, that's a big mistake, my friend. It really is. We're not the same. Okay, we're at completely different levels. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. Like I'm in a position where I could really help some people get started if they were of that mind. Like I couldn't help them if they weren't going to work hard and do the work. But if they were going to work hard and do the work, yeah, I could really help them, channel wise, MGTOW wise. But if they're, just going to be assholes and braggarts and bullies and emotional and dragging, everything into the ditch, dragging the conversation into the ditch, then screw it. You emailed me? Warning? Okay. All right. Well, I don't really know you, warning. I'm not suffering. I'm good. Stop projecting. Okay, fine, Tyler, fine. But you're the one who's attacking the other people, You say you're good, you're not suffering. That's great. But you are attacking the other men who haven't done anything to you. So it's a little, it's a little odd. But fine. Fair enough. Fair enough, young man. Let me take a look over my email. Okay, link, Hangouts. Warning, good people. Well, I don't know you, but here we go. Let's see. Hold on. I'm going to try to send you a different link that I usually send, okay? I usually send... No, that's just the YouTube page. It's not going to work that way. Okay, I'm going to send you the way I usually send it then. Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. Son of a bitch. Okay. Anybody else want to come in here and say a few things? And know this, I'll shut you down in the blink of an eye if you try anything funny. Because, it's a real audience of real people that are looking for real MGTOW information. So I trust that you're being cool about it. And now that I've sent that out, I'm just going to walk away because I got to go refresh my drink, everybody. I got to go get something to drink. I've finished all my chocolate milk and eggs. So I'll be right back, and then I'll put my headphones on and see if anybody's showing up. Send me an email if you guys want to come in here and say something. Hang out for a while. I'll be right back. So hold your horses. Keep your pants on. Keep your pants on. Hold up. Hold up. Just occurred to me. Things could go very wrong very fast. Oh, okay, you're here. I'm sorry. Let me put on my headphones here. Warning. You look cool. Sorry about that. Stick it in. All right, there it is. How's it going? Can you hear me okay, man?
Yeah, I can hear you. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks for asking. Who's that a picture of? That looks like maybe a Greek philosopher there.
I leave it as a little Easter egg for people to find if they're interested.
I understand. I will turn off. I want to keep the chat going. Yeah, I'll turn this on. It gets pretty annoying looking at that big giant avatar and things like that. So thank you for stopping by, Warning. I'm not, when I don't know somebody, I don't know what their intentions necessarily are coming into a hangout. And some people, some kids just want to disrupt things and do things like that. But no, you seem perfectly cool. So thank you for stopping by.
Sure, thanks for having me, and I totally know what you mean. A lot of these internet hangouts can quickly devolve into just total back and forth insults and can quite quickly detract from interesting topics.
Precisely. And, that's all some people can bring to the table, and that's what they're involved in. But they don't understand that other people have issues that they might want to talk about and, help people explore the issues and things like that. So what are some of your views about MGTOW and some of the ways